All right. So Deacon, you're here, and Deacon, it's gonna be your time. Give me 1 second. Deacon, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here. Let me share my screen. Great, man. This is great. I didn't know the Lord was gonna. I didn't know the Lord was gonna give me these. I'm about to start trying. You know, JP, you know, like in a dunking contest, you start trying new dunks. I'm about to just start trying new dunks now, right now. So let's see.
Wait, hold on. Second. Okay. 15
cool.
minutes, right?
Okay, wait a second. Let me share my screen, and I'm gonna do my timer myself as well, just so I can be looking, and you don't have to necessarily. Okay, so let me share my screen, and we're gonna go 3, 2. I appreciate you too, JP. This is fun, man. We gotta do some more. Okay, so I'll be ready in 3, 2, 1. Let's go. So he said that our God is a God.
Yeah.
Yeah, do you see the screenshot I sent you about the guy with the Trinity? Where he agreed that God is the Father is God, the Son is God. This is the second God. You see those screenshots?
Yeah.
All right. I mean, now this is what I'm trying to say. You guys debate these guys, and they'll never admit it. Somehow, I'm just making it real simple, and somehow they're agreeing that they're all three of them are guys. And these are guys who hate the Trinity.
Yeah.
And somehow I'm getting these guys I can't believe how easy it is. Like we'll have like a little discussion on some scriptures. We did Colossians 1:16, and he could not get around that at all. Because he was saying, now don't forget, I don't have a particular position. I think all positions got, when I say all, I'm talking about the three popular. Oneness, Unitarian, and Trinity. I think all of them got some good arguments, right? So what I do is I take the stuff I know, right? And because I don't know the entire doctrine, but I take what I know. And for people who oppose it, I want to see how you're gonna get around this. So he believed that God was Jesus was created. So I'm like, oh. So what about Colossians 1:16? So now he don't think this is a contradiction. He think, oh yeah. He said, Christ did all that, Jesus. I said, okay. So did he create himself? Like, no. I'm like, bro, what does all things mean to you? Oh, I see what you're doing. He said, well, does the Bible contradict? Bro, I don't care about that right now. I'm asking you, what does all things mean? Is Jesus a thing? So of course he gets quiet. So then he goes to John 1:1, then he goes to verse 3, where it says, God made all things, right? And then the word was God. He said, see, God did it, and then the word was God. So he came later. So this is a contradiction. So I was like, well, back to that word God. I'm like, so is this God the Father, or is this God the 3 in 1? You know, and I don't know what he said after that, but for some reason, like that kind of dropped his guard. So I said, okay, this is the right time just to ask him plainly. So I was like, all right, is the Father God? Yeah. Is the Son God? Yeah. So now the last one, he caught me off guard. I said, the Spirit God? I expect him to say no. He said, yeah. So I'm like, dude, if you don't believe in the Trinity, well, you damn close.
Yeah.
So then he goes to tell me about Europeans, the racism part of the doctrine. So then I ain't say nothing else because I understand that the Pope could say the sun is yellow, or the Catholic Church could say the sun is yellow, and they'll say no.
You want a spoon?
The Catholic Church could put a sign up, hey, don't get close to this water, a crocodile bite you. They'll get close to it. Like, they just believe that the Catholic Church just can't tell the truth. Like, that's what they believe. There's just no truth in the Catholic Church. Anyway, it was fun. So I'm trying to think we went anywhere else. We went to Colossians.
Some guy was like, yeah, no, but according to the Hebrew, I was like, man, I'll talk to him.
Okay, we started with the Father thing. I said, can you get Father out of Son? So then he went to tell me how things in Hebrew didn't mean this, man. I was like, all right, bro, okay, you got it. And that's why I did Colossians 1.
You know where they get those definitions from, right?
Where?
They get it from the white man.
Right.
They get all their because I saw what he was saying. He was saying seed means house of seed because this character means this and this character means. They all get it from Jeff Benner, who's a white Hebrew scholar. And I think it's funny because even what's his face, Apostle, he has those books too.
Really, Apostle?
Yeah. I can show it to you. Let me go grab the book. He's got he's got a bunch of different books. I actually started learning to read Hebrew from these two, like they're really short. So that's where it caught my attention where I could start off and not have to be fully invested. So here we've got these two. You see these two books?
Wait. Yeah.
Yeah, so one is the ancient Hebrew language and alphabet, understanding the ancient Hebrew language of the Bible based on the ancient Hebrew culture and thought. Then this one is similar, not the same exact thing, but different in its own way. But yeah, and then he's got a whole lexicon, which Hebrew dictionary. So he kind of goes. He bases his definitions off of characters, which a good amount of them are not far off from what the actual thing means. It just gives you a little bit more detail. So that's why I don't mind it. But I have an issue when they say, "Oh, you getting all this from the white man," and da da da, and then meanwhile they're using a white man to give them all these definitions.
Yeah.
But I guess it depends on the Hebrew Israelite you're talking to.
Yeah, but essentially they would go there. Like when it doesn't work in their favor. The Deacon did. Remember King James? Well, he's a Methodist.
So, Methodist. How is he a Methodist when Methodist wasn't even a thing of that time?
Yo, my man said he wrote the Bible. So I was like, Deacon, he didn't write the Bible. Oh yeah, Colin. Like I don't know why. Like when I talk to these guys, they just become retarded. Or Ariela doesn't know what did he know when I talked to him? A direct object. Like he didn't know. This dude didn't know the direct object was. Like these guys just become totally buffoons when I talk to them.
I told you what they did on that one clubhouse when we were talking about the virgin birth, like not long ago. They kept trying to ask me. They were reading Matthew 1:16. They were like, "Who's the subject?" I was like, "Well, you got two subjects. You got Jacob and you got Jesus." And then they were like, "No." And then they read a part. They read the husband of Mary, and they were like, "Who's the subject here?" I was like, "Well, technically there is no subject." You're like,
Yeah.
"What?
Yeah,
what are you talking about?"
That's why for me, I'm more about who. Like for me, it's a debate. Who can ask the most questions? I'm like, what's the subject here, brother? Can you go over what the subject is for me? Because I want to show that they don't even know what it is. Like, yeah, bro, just because you're saying it doesn't mean you know what it is. So, brother, can you
Right.
remind me what the subject is again? And they're gonna scramble. So now if we go Google it, they're not gonna have a problem now because it's gonna say noun, verb, noun. Okay. So, brother, with of whom? Where's the verb? The verb is always in between. Where's the verb? Everywhere else, begot him. This person begot. You see, noun, verb, noun. Where's the verb here?
I wouldn't be surprised. I wouldn't be surprised if they read Matthew 1:16, the husband of Mary, and they say, "Oh, the word of or the possession." That's the. Hey, remember when Orion said that? he said the verb is in Mary's name, like something like that. You remember that? The action of possessing.
He was clueless
Bro, he was
about that.
cooked. He was cooked, bro.
My man said, he said, who's possessing Mary? And like he said, like that's a valid question. Who possessing Mary?
His
It's
audience
like,
was like, right, Con.
yeah, well, if it says the ball of Rondell, I will believe I'm the person possessing the ball. It's of me. So if it says the husband of Mary, if there's going to be a possessor here, it's going to be Mary. She's
Right.
possessed husband. But these guys, that's why I tell people, man, like, listen, speak to your education. Speak to your education. That means that only talk about things you actually have learned in your life. Don't go trying saying words that you don't really know what they are. Your education, because your education is your education. So
Mm-hmm.
if your education have not taught you that word, don't use it. All right?
Right. Exactly.
Don't use it. Like you speak to your education. Speak what your education taught. That's it. And me, I make it simple. I'm gonna speak to my education. I'm not gonna be over here. Yeah, philosophically, Bob, yeah, shit. If you look at the corners, I'm gonna just
Mm-hmm.
talk right. No faking, just talk right. Because Dickie be trying that a lot. He doesn't sound smart as you think he does. But
What
he
did he
tried
try?
try to speak about their education. And Hassan tried it too. And because they all hate polite, but all these guys get it from polite.
Mm.
Polite, nothing in polite's education had demonstrated he should be speaking like that. Nothing. Like he brags about being a ninth grade dropout. So my role would be, brother, speak like a ninth grade dropout. Speak to your education. Don't try to speak above it because you mixing words that don't go together. You sound crazy, bro.
Mm-hmm. Oh, bro. Tappan just had a debate. It wasn't really a debate. It was more so like a discussion, but I would call it a debate with BK apologist and Adam Coleman, and he had some other person from ICPK with him.
But when Kevin upload the rest of my video with this guy, then I'll take him serious.
Yeah, I think they were debating is Christianity the white man's religion, which what does that even mean? Like
I don't.
that's such a weird, you know what I'm saying? Like that's a biased sort of, you either are biased towards it or biased against it, but the unbiased person, how would you say that Christianity is the white man's religion? Especially when you look at the first early church fathers, a lot of them were African. You ever heard of Tertullian?
No.
So Tertullian, he was in the second century. He was the first person to coin the term Trinity. He was the first person to actually lay out the terms of what the Trinity is before the Council of Nicaea. He was from I think he was from Alexandria, I want to say, if I'm not mistaken. But he was African. He was of African descent. And Julius Africanus, I'm almost positive he was as well. Athanasius. These are all guys with before the fifth century even comes on. These are a lot of guys that what's his face? The person that wrote uh the Gospel of Mark, he's coined as his name is John Mark. He's said to have gone to Africa on his missionary journeys.
Yeah,
So,
for me, the color thing is like, it's either at the end of the day, it's either true or false. No matter what
yeah.
color. Yeah, so like there's no color with scholarship. That's why I'm saying you quoting the white man, I'm quoting whoever's right. So if it's a whole bunch of
Hmm.
black folks, I'm not gonna quote. If there's a whole bunch of gay guys right, I'm gonna quote the gay guy. Peace ILCK. So I was going through ILCK videos, these clips, and I came across he got one with the Samaritans, with some weird, I think it's San Diego Israelites, was going through the whole Samaritan spill. um Jacob's well, our guy, all his language. And
Hmm.
yeah, but he was explaining why Jesus didn't recognize her as an Israelite. And bro, Like, you can only do that when I'm not in front of you. Like, dude, okay, bro. Listen, man. The bottom line is that did Jesus know she's an Israelite or not? Israelite or not? Of course. All right. Did he speak to her like she was? Like, yo, what part of the Bible when you're a clear-cut Israelite, right? And she didn't do that wrong, right? She did everything right. Like, what did she do wrong besides having all that husband? But like, she did everything right. So why would Christ just all of a sudden talk to her like she's not an Israelite? And she's Samaria, right? So she's from northern, but he's gonna talk to her like that, like that. Well, like, the logic is just weird. Like, yo, is he talking to her like a Gentile or like an Israelite, bro? Come on, like, come on, like he talked to that Samaritan woman. Same vibe, same energy. So anyway, now I dodged the Jacob's Well thing like the plague, bro. Even though I could like prove it and debunk, I just feel like it's just long. It's like the Virgin Book. It's like, bro, I'd rather just not. Like, you could just win. Okay. All right. She's Northern Kingdom, cool. All right, let's move somewhere else. Like, I just do not want to go down that at all. Like, the only time I do that, bro, if it's like a big fish like the guys we just mentioned. If I can embarrass a lot of these guys, I'm gonna do it. But a regular guy, dude, you won. She's an Israelite. I'm just not doing that with you, man. I'm not doing all that energy with these guys because that's still not going to prove the Gentiles are Israelites. You know what I mean? It's still, you can win that. It's okay. Now, on the big stage, yeah, you're not getting that. The big stage, you're not getting that. So Sanetta, I'm going to embarrass him. Okay, so he was going. So that reminds me of when it was me and LG versus like 4 or 5 Israelites. You know, they always come like 4 or 5 deep. And I set them up so lovingly, bro. I was playing stupid. Like, are you sure she's an Israelite? You don't think she was like a fake Israelite? No. What's that? What's that? Oh, I said they must have loved me. Then I sent you the wrong verse. I said, man, I found it. Can you guys go to? I think that's just a bogus book and chapter, like third Samuel. You're like, what? I'm like, oh no, can you go to first? Well, I think it's First Kings 12, like that. And then I had like read it. Like I tried to read it like I was like not right. But when I got to it, man, it was complete silence. These were Sakari, Riverside Sakari. Okay, I mean, bro, no rebuttal, nothing. These guys start to debate LJ on something else. Oh, they was debating LJ or whether the woman had real husbands, like literal husbands, because they took it as it was like husband was symbolic for like idol gods or whatever. So they decided to debate LG on that. But bro, no rebuttal. When I showed that, nah, she was a Samaritan. She was non-Israelite plant, Israelite plant, a faker, and all the people that was there was one too. So ILCK, no, go to bed. ILCK video pretty much explained that. Like, I think history, just he had a couple of stories up there, just breaking it down. The Israel never went back, and nobody from Israel was there. Like, they'll lie, and even Divine Prospect surprisingly believe that foolishness. He believes that, like, they're Israel. I was like blown away. Like, wow, this guy got sloppy research. It surprised me, but it didn't know because I realized his position. Like, yeah, well, if you could believe this stupid stuff, yeah. Then, all right. Okay, so here we are. I'm trying to think, what's it? So the guy had gave me a lot. I sent you like videos, but I ain't seen you on the clips all the conversation. But he changed his position. Yo, that branch, the brook. No, go lay down.
That branch was a seed,
No.
and then it was a tree.
No, not even that. Not even that. Even that's weak too. Because when he was debating you on your live with that, when they say, "Hey, that's apples and oranges," that's literally what he did. Like he's acting like, same thing. No, bro. Well, hold on. Let me get this guy in the bed because he needs to be. He's sleeping, fighting. They're gonna start yelling in a second. Hey, don't you yell like that. You're not a lion, you're a cub. You gotta get them. You can't let them yell like that. You know what I mean? Because a real lion wouldn't let their cubs do that. Like a male lion would check that cub. Like, oh, what you doing?
Facts. Yeah.
All right. Hey, okay. Let me get him up there.
Like the day when I met you, saying that's right. Hold on, son. When you walk down my phone, when you walk down my phone. Very. Hello. Hello.
Go ahead. No. You got to check. All right. Good. Okay. Hey. Stop. Go over there. Lay down.
Oh, why don't you ask Mom if she wants to play? She loves that game. Yeah. I mean, yeah, Mommy likes that game.
All right. All right. Let me play a little Deacon.
And the kings of the earth bring their glory in it, and the gates shall not be shut day or night, and they shall bring their glory and honor of the nations into it. What is John quoting? John is literally quoting Isaiah 60. Isaiah 60 is where you get the servitude. Again, any Christian of high level, even a rudimentary level of understanding, would agree that Isaiah 60 doesn't happen until Christ comes back. So I don't know if he's saying that salvation, when Christ comes back, that's not when salvation starts. It sounds like what he's saying, which is why I can't wait to the cross-examination. It sounds like what he's saying, salvation in the kingdom doesn't start until 1,000 years after Christ comes back, like he's going to fail his mission or something. But it's crazy because he mentions that, and then the whole thing with the holy city and Isaiah 60 and 14, which John is quoting, getting this whole concept of a holy city. Isaiah 60 and 14 says that it will call the Israelites the city of the Lord. So, brother, is there two holy cities, or what are we doing here? There can't be two holy cities and two brides, are there? Now he mentioned that he's a Jew by his mom's side. This is why the Jewish community, they don't really believe in the Bible. They believe more in rabbinic tradition. All through the Bible, it shows you that you are who your father is. Ezra chapter 2, verse 59. And these were they which went up from Tilmah till Harsah, Cherub, Adon, and Immer, but they could not show their father's house and their seed whether they were of Israel. So
oh boy.
oh, you're an Israelite by your mom is ridiculous to me. Jewish community does not follow Torah. They follow their own sages and rabbis, right? Which the Bible says, call no man rabbi. But here we are saying Rabbi Eduardo, Lord in Christ. Genesis 12:3, he mentioned, he will bless those who bless, to bless you. And he read over curse so fast. I will curse those that curse you. He read over that so fast. Why, Rabbi? Why did you read over that part so fast? This is a contingency plan. Now, we know
Bro,
all
why
the
did they do
nations
that?
did not bless us. They cursed the
What's
Israelites.
that?
And this is why.
Like, he was just reading it. What do you like? They always try to be like, why did you read over that so fast? I was just reading it.
That's also Captain. You see, he in the dress song, so it's like, cause it was stupid. It didn't make any sense. And I'm not gonna waste time. That has nothing to do with my point.
Right. Your point isn't that. Your point is something else. I think it's kind of irrelevant when they say, oh, but he just coincidentally didn't bring up this, or he read over this real fast. Like, bro, no. You're gonna see Deacon do a lot of, he gonna straw man a lot. I think this is is this the rebuttal period?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Right.
Deuteronomy 30 has to happen, which somebody who you would praise as a teacher and a professor of yours, Dr. Michael Brown, says Deuteronomy 30 is a future prophecy.
Oh yeah.
We
First
agree.
of all, I
Now,
heard the
why
guy
in this
go Radar. He's pretty good. I heard his I think second round.
Yeah. He was
He's pretty
cooking.
good. Yeah, he's pretty good. Like I like his style. He got a lot of energy. He got a lot of flavor. He's not boring.
Yeah,
And
his flow is really good. You can tell he preaches and he like speaks in front of
yeah.
people. So yeah.
Yeah, and he was to the point, it was very, very educational.
Hmm.
future prophecy, when all the Israelites get back to their land, which Christ is the one to do that, why did God say in verse 7, and the Lord thy God will put all these curses upon thine enemy? Well, if this is a future prophecy where God is going to curse all the nations, then clearly they did not bless Israel. They cursed Israel, right? Now, he mentioned the mixed multitude.
And this is why, now, what you call is good at it, Radar. And you don't mind this. But this is what they like. But Brad can handle it, then go ahead. But what they like to do is talk freely. Like they're not confined. Like me, we just do Romans 11. That's it. Like they like the freedom to just go anywhere they want. No restrictions, no discipline. I go bounce, 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 bounce. And that's why I like that Shanty Moon style. I'm gonna borrow that the next debate. So like
What?
we at Shanty Moon style, where we're gonna pick a debate he had, where we're gonna pick a couple topics and we're gonna deal with them one by one.
Oh
And we
yeah.
can use so you can't jump because Hebrew 2:16 is a major talking point in the Virgin verse. So it's so in 2 Samuel chapter 7 verse 12. So we dealing with 2 Samuel 7:12. Why you bring up Hebrews 2? You dig? That's a whole see, and that puts a stop to that. Like, no, let's just do it 2 Samuel chapter 7:12. You could bring supporting scriptures, but Hebrews 2:16 will have his own light. And this one have his own light. Stop trying to bring a whole new argument where you know he disagrees with you to the first argument, which is 2 Samuel 7:12. So because right now he's just reaching, he's just going everywhere possible. And Captain loves doing that. They love to not really be formatted.
Right? He mentioned the mixed multitude. In Deuteronomy 29:10, it shows you that the mixed multitude were actually slaves to the servants to the Israelites. Deuteronomy 29:10, you are standing today, all of you, before the Lord your God, the heads of your tribes, your elders and your officers, all the men of Israel, your little ones and wives, the sojourner who is in your camp, from the one who chops your wood and the one who draws your water. So clearly, with us right now, we're servants. That would have been the mixed multitude. Now, look at what this says in Wisdom of Solomon when it talks about the mixed multitude. This is Wisdom of Solomon 15 and 18. Moreover, they worship even the most hateful animals. Talk about the mixed multitude, which are worse than all the others when judged by their lack of intelligence. and even as the animals that are not so beautiful. In the very next chapter, it keeps going, and it says, therefore, those people, the mixed multitude, were deservedly punished through such creatures and were tormented by a multitude of animals. Instead of this punishment, you showed kindness to your people, and you prepared quails to eat, a delicacy to satisfy the desire of the appetite, in order that those people, the mixed multitude, when they desire food, might lose the least remnant of appetite because of the odious creatures sent to them, while your people after suffering want a short time might make. Look at it, says for it was necessary, this is the key point, for it was necessary that upon those oppressors inescapable want should come. And it says, while to these others, it was merely shown how their enemies were being tormented. This is crazy, because it's telling you that God saved the mixed multitude to torment them in the wilderness. That's Bible. Now, in Ephesians chapter 2, I can't believe he did this. In verse 11, he said the Gentiles in the flesh are actual bloodline Gentiles. But it says being in time past Gentiles.
Oh, yeah. He's a fool. I mean, like, some of the stuff is hard to bear.
Suicide. Now look, he mentioned Isaiah 49. We knew he was going to go here. And
we knew he was going to go here, and you know where you going to go, stupid. Like, we like, how would they do that too?
Yeah, bro.
Verses.
Yeah, you did your research. We did ours too.
Right. But they all say, like they claim that Isaiah 49:6 is like the John 3:16 in certain debates. Like if is God a racist? Like they'll say, why they go to John 3:16? So when it comes to salvation, you're not gonna go to Isaiah 49:6. So, like, you know, because these are obvious strong arguments for them.
Mm-hmm.
Why would they not go to their bread and butter? Like, you guys go, yeah, weak points.
I'll say.
I see how you spend.
Oh, you know what's interesting too?
Mm-hmm.
I was talking to somebody about Romans 11. I just thought about this, where it quotes Deuteronomy and it says, "I will bring those to jealousy by those who are not a people. I will bring you to jealousy." When that's originally spoken, I asked somebody. I think it was when I was talking to Space City. He was like, "Oh, that's about." Should have honed in on this. This was actually a pretty strong point that I could have made, because they said, "Oh, in the original, like where it's from, in Deuteronomy, that not a people is actually about Gentiles, but in the fulfillment, that's about Northern Israel." That's what they said, bro. And I was like, wow. So you're saying,
how's that fulfillment? No. How's that a fulfillment? If the wrong guy, the wrong people fulfilling it.
right. But I used it against him. I was like, oh, that's interesting, because that's what we say about Hosea 1 and 10. In the same place where it was said unto them, these are not my people, they shall be called the children of God. I was like, yeah, originally this was about Northern Israelites, and now it's about Gentiles. And they were like, no, I gotta clip that, bro. Man, that was a good little spot right there. I forgot about that now.
All right, let's see what Deacon gonna do.
Some more of this, just in case he tries to deal with this on a rebuttal or whatever. And I'm sorry, on the cross-examination. In Isaiah 49:6, it says, "It is a light thing that you should be my servant to raise up the tribes of Jacob." Now, in verse 3 is interchanging Israelites with the Messiah. Verse 3 says, "And he said, you are my servant, Israel, in whom I will be glorified." So the servant is both the Messiah and Israel. So in verse 6, when it says it's a light thing that you should be my servant to raise up the tribes of Jacob, the Messiah is doing that, and to bring back the preserved of Israel. And look what he says, "I will make you a light as a light for the nations," right? So how is Christ a light to the nations? He's utilizing the Israelites to bring that light to the nations. How do we know that? Isaiah 60, which I had it pulled up. Isaiah 60, let's go back here, which he read this. I don't even know why. Look at verse 1. "Arise and shine, for thy light has come." This is talking about the Israelites getting the light. "And the glory of the Lord is risen upon thee." The thee here is the Israelite. "For behold, darkness shall cover the earth, and gross darkness the people." So these Gentiles don't get no light. I'm sorry, they're not the light, rather. And that's a hierarchy right there. "But the Lord shall arise on you, and his glory shall be seen on you." and the Gentiles shall come to your light, and kings to the bright. Why would he even go here? Because this shows you that there's a hierarchy, that the Gentiles are in darkness having to come to the Israelites.
Now, essentially, they're
Oh,
going to say,
whoa. He slipped up.
that
He said, wait, go back a couple seconds. I want to make sure I heard him right.
Because this shows you that there's a hierarchy, that the Gentiles are in darkness having to come to the Israelites.
Right.
And then Acts 13 and
Okay.
47, which he mentioned,
So
showed
pause
you
that. So notice he said the Gentiles are in darkness, and he admits these Gentiles are non-Israelites, even in Isaiah 60. So if these Gentiles are in darkness, when you read in the New Testament, you have to say, because Paul doesn't say, hey, these Israel. Wait, hold up. I know. I'm on the 1 second, man. All right, hello?
yeah. Yeah, he's knocked out, bro.
Your son?
Yeah.
There you go.
I know he's doing the most.
Come in. All right, mommy's talking to you. Mommy's talking to you. Is there an issue? Their problem, Violet? Okay.
Okay.
Lay down the hammer.
Play some more.
The Israelites in the time of the Messiah understood the verse as so that the Israelites were the light. This is Acts 14.
Oh, what were you going to say?
What'd you say?
What were you going to say about the Israelites in the darkness, man, Gentiles in the darkness?
Right. So if he admits that these Gentiles are actual Gentiles and that they are in darkness, that means that when Paul speaks about those who are in darkness and how they have seen a great light and come to the light, if he's saying that these are also Israelites, then Israelites will be subservient to other Israelites in the kingdom, just by his own argumentation. So he has to allow that these Gentiles coming to the light would be the same way that other Israelites being in darkness would come to the light as well. Because he can't say that all Israelites are the light and that they're all in the light, because that would mean that they're all, by his standard, obeying the law, statutes, and commandments, which they're not. A lot of them are in idolatry, and he even admits this. Even when you look at the Northern Kingdom, that's why I always ask them specific questions like, okay, does this blindness mean that they're in darkness? Like just for later conversation and stuff like that. Because that's what it would mean to be in darkness. If you're in the dark, you can't see, therefore you're blind. But if you see, you're in the light because you can only see in the light. I mean, that's like, that's a logical conclusion to those terms.
Yes, sir.
13 and 47. For the Lord have commanded us, saying, I have set thee to be a light. So here it is, Paul and the disciples saying that they're the light. Isaiah 60 says that we're the light. He should have never went to Isaiah 46. I'm sorry, 40, what was that? 40, 49, because in 10 chapters later, it even tells you that they're going to be serving the Israelites. Why even go there? They're going to be serving the Israelites. Those same nations that you mentioned right here, brother, are going to be serving the Israelites. We read that. Should have never went to this chapter. Now, he also mentioned Isaiah 56. We don't have a problem. That's just talking about the nations worshiping the Lord. We don't have a problem with that. We're going to actually force them
are those
to
nations, Gent? See, my thing is, okay, cool, but that ain't what's supposed to hit. I want you just admitted that those nations were nations and non-Israelites, and that's all I needed you to do. See, you dummy, you was looking for the left, and I hit you with the right. So because my thing is, who are the Gentiles? Who are the nations? Who are the heathens? That's my thing. When I get you to answer that, it's over.
Mm-hmm.
So thank you for admitting that the nations were the Gentiles. And like the other guy was supposed to speak earlier, he went to show me, see, Gentiles just mean nations. But then he cut himself. So I'm listening. He said, yeah, so Israel, he said, so Israel, the reason why Israel, not the nations, because God chose them. And he told them to be separate from the nations. The nations are not Israel. So I'm like, okay. Well, damn. All right, I agree with that. All right. I'm going to steal it. I like that one. So, yeah, so the nations eventually was a nation, like all Gentiles, until God chose the people. And he said, don't go around the nations because I didn't choose them. And those nations are heathens and Gentiles and everything else that's not Israel. So I'm like, I like what you just said. You ain't going to like it, though, when I get you in this call. But let's go.
Worship the Lord. Then he went to Revelation 7. This I wonder if he believes in the rapture. I'll maybe ask him that on the cross-examination. Because
oh my gosh, this is funny. Bro, this was hilarious, bro.
What's that?
When he brought this up and he just assumed that every single Christian agrees with rapture, one, and then he said pre-trib rapture. You have mid-trib, post-trib, and you have Christians that don't even believe in the rapture. So, bro, I don't know if you saw, but in the cross, Rabbi Eduardo, he pulls up a chart of the end times. He's like, hey, have you ever seen this? He's like, no, I have no clue what that is. Oh, so you have no idea what the rapture actually is speaking about, and or anything for that matter. So it was just funny just to watch him. Like, you could tell he didn't do much research on this, because he's gonna say this scholar believes it, so you have to. That's why he appealed to Dr. Michael Brown, and that's what's called like an appeal to authority, not to confirm your position, but to say the other side has to agree with this because this person said so. That's an appeal to authority, logical fallacy.
But that's what Captain did with the early church fathers. Well, they believe this, so you got to. And
right.
So that's why I asked LJ, like, I said, is that really, do you really care? Like, because as long as I got was written in front of me, I don't care what, I want the facts, I want the evidence, but I don't want your opinion. Your opinion, you can keep.
Is being brought out from great tribulation. You Christians believe that the church isn't a part of the great tribulation. So how can they? The Greek word of sons of the patriarch Jacob. Now, majority of the time when it's used in the New Testament, that's what it's talking about. But we have a clearer picture in Revelation 14, where John sees the same innumerable multitude. Remember, in Revelation 7, it's the 144,000 with the innumerable multitude. Then in Revelation 14, it's the 144,000 with the innumerable multitude. Now watch what John calls the innumerable multitude here. Look at this. Revelation 14:1. And I looked, and lo, a lamb stood on Mount Zion. So you have Mount Zion, and guess what? And with him 144,000. This is another place he shouldn't have went to, because John is equivalating or correlating the innumerable multitude with Mount Zion, then 144,000. So what do we have here?
What verses you at?
Let's go
Revelation
back.
14.
Let's go to my presentation. Let's keep going here, right?
I'm trying to see. Yeah, and I know it's just funny that he's talking about this. The great multitude, that's numbered because if you read, I think it's I think it's 7. It says that there's 12,000 from each tribe, but for some reason it doesn't name Dan. So I guess all the Danites are not going to be in the kingdom according to their doctrine. But also it says, and lo, and I looked and behold, a great multitude which no man could number. After he had just numbered Israel, so he had just numbered Israel, and then he said, "Lo, behold, a great multitude which no man could number from every tribe, race, tongue, and tribe and people of the earth." So he's already named all these Israelites. Why would he go on to say? Why wouldn't he name them as Israelites if they are Israelites? You know what I'm saying? And they're all in the same position. They're all worshiping the Father on the throne and the Lamb next to him. So I think that's interesting that he brought that out because that kind of cuts his point. I don't see if he's trying to say like only Israelites are going to be in the kingdom. Because remember, that actually used to be their position, but then they talk about slavery and stuff like that. That comes later.
But they had to, because the first one failed. So they had to admit the Gentiles are coming, but now they got to give them a subservient, strenuous position in the kingdom. But they had to. It was too hard to argue the old one. So they just like, nah, let's run from that because we're going to lose.
How can non-Israelites, I got a lot of time left. How can non-Israelites be saved when the new covenant is only with the Israelites? We're going to keep building on that. Ezekiel 20:33. As I live, declares the Lord God, hand and an outstretched arm, and with wrath poured out.
Yeah, I think
Fathers in the wilderness of the land of Egypt, so I will enter into judgment when you declare him at his right hand as a leader and a savior to give repentance to Israel and the forgiveness of sins. And I'll end it with Romans 9:4. Then the covenant. Shalom.
All right. Brother Radar, are you there? Radar?
Yeah, I'm here, bro.
Okay, cool. All right. So now we are going over to our 15 minutes cross-examination each. So, Radar, you have 15 minutes to ask Deacon whatever questions you want to ask. And after that, Deacon, you have 15 minutes yourself. Then we're going to do a 5-minute closing. So,
yes, sir.
Radar, I'll start the time as soon as you ask your first question or you start speaking.
Got it.
Wait a minute. Hold on. So, once again, I want to clarify just for the audience. You have 1 minute to answer each other's questions, and that's it. You both agree to that?
Yeah.
Okay, just making sure. Okay.
That 1 minute to answer the question?
Up to.
Yeah, that's a lot for like I don't know, for 15 minutes. But we're good.
Okay.
Yeah, that's a lot for like.
And that's
What?
it. You both agree to that?
Yeah.
1 minute to answer each other's questions, and that's it. You both agree to that?
Yeah.
Okay, just making sure. Okay.
That 1 minute to answer the question?
Up to.
Yeah, that's a lot for like I don't know, for 15 minutes, but it's fine. Go ahead. We're good.
It'll be 30 seconds.
So let's go. But listen, if I
Yeah,
see
because
if I
they
sense
gonna
that
waste the whole
somebody's
minute.
purposely
Yeah.
mumbling
That's
just
what Ryan was
to
doing his
waste the
debate, man.
time
It
as a
got really
strategic
weird.
measure, like, oh, let me mumble for a whole minute, then I will interrupt. So it's a minute if it's legitimate, but if either of you are trying to strategically waste
Yeah,
time
exactly.
so
That's why you
the
don't do it
other
that
person
long.
can't ask any more questions,
Yeah.
Each had
then
30
I will
seconds. You ask 30 seconds. You got 30 seconds, and you can ask 30 seconds more to further explain. And the moderator should determine if you're filibustering or if you're actually trying to explain. You need more time. That's how that should work. You should ask the moderator, "Can I get 30 more seconds?" And he can say yes or no.
So I will intervene. So
Got
all
it.
right, go ahead.
Cool. Hey, Deacon, thanks for the time, man. I appreciate it. Nothing personal, respect. Absolutely, but disagree with your doctrine. So can you say 5 Yiddish words?
No,
So how do you know that I'm speaking Yiddish and not Hebrew?
I don't,
So why did you say that?
because I can.
All right. So will Edomites be saved?
According to Obadiah 1:18, there will be no Edomites existing on the earth when that prophecy is fulfilled.
Thanks. Do you reject Paul?
I do not reject Paul.
Yes, you do.
There are no
You reject Luke. Because remember, he knows more than Paul. He should have said, "Yo, do you know better than Paul?" He should have said that.
Yeah.
Because they definitely say that.
areas where you reject Paul.
There you go.
I do not reject Paul.
There are no areas where you reject Paul.
I don't reject. Reject means that
Oh my
that's kind
gosh.
of a strong word. I may disagree
Yes or
with
no?
certain teachings and doctrines of Paul as they
That's
conflict
rejecting
with
Paul.
the teachings of the Messiah and the Most High.
Yeah, is it true that Paul must line up what was given before him?
Yes.
What was given before him?
The law and the prophets.
Cool. If James says something contrary to Torah, what should we do?
What do you mean?
If James made a statement that was contrary to the Torah in the Bible, what would you do?
It's a basic question.
I can't answer that from a hypothetical.
Okay. What should one do if we thought Jesus says something contrary to the Torah?
Thought or approve?
Yeah. What if you could prove that Jesus says something contrary to the Torah?
I can't.
Okay. Is Jesus part of Israel?
Yes.
Okay. What tribe is Joshua from?
I'm not sure.
It's from Manasseh. What tribe is Caleb from?
Caleb is from the tribe of Judah.
He's not from the tribe of Judah.
Who's Caleb?
He's the son of Jephunneh, a Kenizzite, who was a Canaanite.
Well, the Bible says he's from the tribe of Judah.
No, Genesis 15:19 says
The
Canaan.
Caleb thing is a little tricky because it really say both. So
You said what?
It says both. So
Yeah, it
Deacon's
does. It
not-
does. Yeah.
So Deacon's not wrong here, and that's why I dropped the Caleb thing. I said, all right, nah. Again, when things get too tough for no reason, and I don't really need it, it's like, yeah, nah, because the idle mind of the devil is plaguing. So they'll see what you struggle to explain, even though it's irrelevant to your argument. If they peep, you struggle to explain it, they're gonna keep you there.
Mm-hmm.
was part of Canaan. And look, Numbers 32:11. None of the men who came from Egypt, 20 years old.
I think this was a bad strategy right here because he's not aware that Caleb is also listed as Judah. So yeah, this is gonna be a waste of time, and it doesn't help you at all.
Upward to the land which I saw to Abraham, they didn't enter except Caleb, the son of Jephunneh.
So all you're gonna do is look him up and this is like Judah, then he got you. You know what I mean? That's why it's like kind of, then you got to go back at him, and it's a waste of time.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Kenizzite. The Kenizzite is the Edomite clan. Thanks.
Okay, yeah. The Bible says he's from the tribe of Judah.
Well, I just read you the verse.
See?
So
Yeah,
why
see?
are there still,
You know, like, when he goes, he's gonna get
Saying that he's from the
So-
tribe of Judah.
that's fine. Why are there still Caleb? What's that?
Next question, Radar.
Yeah. Why are there still Calebites in the time of David living in Judah's territory? 1 Samuel 25:3. It says that Nabal was a Calebite.
I'd have to look at that.
Are you a father?
Yes.
May the Lord bless your children. I mean that. Do you enjoy that relationship?
Is this Maury Povovich?
Brother, we're working through the topic, man.
This has nothing to do with the topic.
Okay. What is the covenant with Abraham?
It depends on if it's to the Israelites or to the nations,
How is Abraham a father to many nations?
because he had Ishmael and Isaac.
Do you believe Jesus is the Messiah?
I believe that Jesus, Yahushua, is the Messiah.
Okay. How is that possible if no Ammonite or Moabite can enter the assembly of the Lord ever?
Well,
Wow.
I can't answer. I can't ask a question. It's possible because you are who your father is. That's how.
So scripture says that never can they enter into the assembly, any descendant of a Moabite.
It doesn't say that. It says if
Are
you
you
are
asking
an
a question?
Ammonite, it says I'm not. No, I'm telling you. I'm
I
correcting
thought you were saying this. I thought you were saying this. Go ahead.
It doesn't say that a descendant. It says Ammonite and Moabite, and you're only an Ammonite or Moabite if it's by your patrilineal side.
So it says no Ammonite or Moabite may enter the assembly. Lord. It doesn't qualify it as male or female. Is that correct or incorrect?
That's the only way you are an Ammonite, if it's by your father's side.
How much time I got left, JP? Because my time's off a little bit.
12 minutes.
12 minutes?
Uh,
Okay, cool.
About 11 minutes and 40 seconds now.
Okay, let me reset my time. 11 minutes. Okay.
And 40 seconds.
Yeah.
Don't be stopping his time now.
No,
No,
he's
no.
not stopping it. I was asking what it
All
was.
these handicaps.
It's
I'm
funny
gonna
because
have
he
to
gonna
pull up
ask
some.
him to
He's taking
stop
over
his
his
time.
time.
Come on.
He
You
gonna
gotta
ask
be
JP to
honest,
stop
brother.
his
You can't
time.
lie. My
Really?
next question: do you disagree
Deacon is,
with our
yeah.
usage of rabbinic commentaries when it lines up with the Hebrew Bible?
It
Notice
depends
the
on
question.
if I understand it or if it lines up with scripture.
So he has
So
to
I didn't
understand it.
get a
Interesting.
chance to write down your source. I heard you mention some rabbinic commentary, but I didn't get a chance to fully hear the source that you quoted.
Who wrote the rabbinic commentaries?
I'm not sure.
Was it possible that they were Edomites?
I know Onkelos was an Edomite.
Do you
and
think the?
he
Sorry.
yeah, Onkelos was an Edomite, and they say he was the great translator of the Torah. So yes, Edomites can commentate on the text.
So Onkelos translated the Targums, and he's an Edomite who's going to be utterly destroyed. Do you agree that Edomites are the offspring of Satan?
The white man, woman, and child is the devil that the Bible speaks of.
Would you rebuke other Hebrew Israelites who follow the oral Torah right now and say that they're following the white man who's the devil by following the oral Torah?
If they're teaching, if there's Hebrew Israelites that are teaching oral Torah, which part of that would be that a grown man can put his mouth on a baby's penis to circumcise them, then yes, I will rebuke. That's a nasty Jewish custom that
Is that in the Talmud?
Is it in the Talmud?
Yeah,
I believe so.
What's the source for that?
I'd have to
The
go
source
through
is,
my
I
Mishnah
believe
over
so.
here to get it, but I'm pretty sure if you want me to get it, I can.
No, that's cool. That's cool. I want to share a little bit of. I want to share my screen if I can, real quick. All right, let me share real quick.
6 minutes have passed, by the way.
Heard. Do my entire screen. Is this you in this picture? Yeah, you can put it up, brother. Is that you?
I can't confirm or deny.
So it is you. It's called Genesis Varsity. It's basically your school, right? Is this part of the curriculum that you teach?
I can't not confirm. No, I'm joking. Yeah, it is.
Are these the most academic books that you teach in your curriculum?
No.
What are the most academic books you use in your curriculum? What's the top two?
The Bible.
The Bible is the most academic book that you teach. That's a primary source. That's not an academic source.
Well, that's the main Bible that I teach. That's the main book that I teach in my course. And if you want,
You don't even understand the questions, bro.
Are you answering the question?
Yeah.
Are you answering the question?
Yes.
Yeah.
If you want a free course, I'll give you a free course.
Do you have any accredited academic training?
Huh?
Do you have any accredited academic seminary training?
My only training is through the Holy Spirit of God.
Okay. Can you name the 7 verbal stems of Hebrew, the 7 binyamin?
No.
Is there one Hebrew verb that you can parse for us in Lashon Kodash?
I'm not a scholar or very fluent in Lashon Kodash.
You have any Greek training?
Absolutely
no,
not.
I can read the lexicon. I have the Lytle and Scott. I do read.
That's good. I'm satisfied. I'm satisfied with the answer, brother. Did you ever take systematic theology?
No,
Thank you. I'm satisfied.
Hold on.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay, well, go ahead.
No, I'm just saying. So when my car's broken,
I took some college courses, but go ahead.
So when my car's broken, I take it to a mechanic. When I feel sick, I go to a doctor. If you're lacking the training necessary to divide the word of God rightly, why should I trust what you say about the Bible, especially about salvation?
That's a good question. What that, and I got a minute to answer that. What that is right there, everybody, is white supremacy.
Say white supremacy.
He's
bro,
basically saying that if the white man didn't teach me and indoctrinate me, then I don't have the.
Bro, I would probably say 90% of the books that he was holding were written by white men. Yeah. What is he talking about? He literally mentioned Liddell and Scott. These are 2 white scholars. Like, look at the last name, Scott. What black man you know got the last name Scott?
Byron Scott, the point guard of the Lakers.
All right, okay, bro. That's like one out of a lot. Like, I think, but no, these guys.
What about what name?
Okay, all right, no, I was just kidding.
Kobe Bryant, Scott.
You're gonna turn this into a mini debate, but you know my point. Like he's claiming, oh, this is white supremacy at its finest. That just because I don't learn from the white man doesn't mean that I don't know what I'm talking about. Well, a good amount of those books that you hold up and teach in class, those are white men. So he's kind of being like, if they want to be very consistent with what they're saying, they can't use any white scholars. Like if they want to be consistent in what they're saying, they can only use black scholars, and bro, they will have, like, when it comes to Greek and Hebrew lexicons and stuff like that, and history, they're gonna have like 3 books, bro.
Scott LaRock.
There you go, bro.
Scottie Pippen.
No, I said last name. So it's
Look,
what was it?
Scoot Henderson.
Scoot. Scoot Henderson. He was on the what was it? The Pelicans before they were the Pelicans, right? When they were the Wildcats.
No, Scoot Henderson is the one that replaced Dame Lillard. Remember?
Oh, that's right. Yeah, he is kind of nice.
Bro, he gets no burn.
I might be thinking of somebody else. Hey, look, if I say something, don't even take it to heart. Because look, I don't watch NBA every single day. I catch up, but I know there is somebody that's
I don't watch. I watch highlights. That's it. But Scoot Henderson, he was projected. He was number 2, I think, overall. It was Wemby and then Scoot. Yo, why is Wemby shooting over there 3-pointers, man? Like this guy might be a wasted. What if, man? Like
yeah, he needs to
Thomas,
attack more.
Like Tim Thomas and the rest of them, just tall and just goofy. Don't want to. All right, let me press.
Yeah.
The proper understanding and training, and you have to show me in the Bible where because the Bible says that you have no need for a teacher, for the Holy Spirit will give you the unction to teach you, roughly paraphrasing. So I do not need validation from the white man, sir, to know that I'm right in my understanding with the text, which is mine.
Yeah, but you have all those books
Nice.
from
Who
the white
ordained
man.
Joshua?
Right.
Excuse me?
Who ordained Joshua?
Ordained him to be what?
To be the servant of Moses in order to enter the promised land with the Gentile named Caleb.
For one, Numbers 13. Let me answer that. Numbers 13 and 6. Let me just read that real quick.
You got like 10 seconds, 20 seconds. I think.
I thought I had 60 seconds.
All right, it's going quick, man. What do I have up to 11 minutes?
If you're satisfied with his answer,
I'm
Radar,
satisfied. Yeah, I'm satisfied.
That's so disingenuous. I was just.
I mean, if you want
to
take it, go ahead, read it. You got it.
Okay,
You got 20 seconds.
Numbers 13 and 6. Of the tribe of Judah, Caleb, the son of Jephunneh. So yeah,
Jephunneh. Who is Jephunneh? Who is Jephunneh?
Okay, the son. But how's he from the tribe of Judah?
Kenizzite. He's a Kenizzite because he inherited the land when he went in and Joshua gave it to him in the book of Joshua.
Not land.
So that's why. So you can't ask me questions even though I answered it. Okay. So let me ask you another. Who ordained you as deacon?
The Holy Spirit of God.
Doesn't the New Testament tell us to have pastors, elders lay hands and ordain deacons? Did God physically lay hands on you?
Did God fit? Never mind. Yes, he did.
God physically
by way of his Holy Spirit. No, not physically, excuse me. But yeah, by way of his Holy Spirit.
Are you an honest man?
Hell
it depends
no.
on to who.
Are you allowed to lie to Gentiles?
My
Yes.
forefathers did.
Okay. All right, man. I'm satisfied with the time that I had. Thank you so much for answering the questions.
all right, you have 5 more minutes.
Oh, yeah, I keep,
Mothers, what they gonna do
bro,
with their face?
my iPad keeps slamming. It keeps unfolding, hitting the damn keyboard. And every time it does that, it skips it to somewhere.
Go to like the last 5 minutes of his cross. So go to like 15. Go to 1:15 because he doesn't realize that he has more time. He thinks he's done. Keep going. I think he's right there. Yeah.
So where? So how can a moderator tell him? Where?
He keep going because he thought he was done, but he had like 4 more minutes.
Do you have any training? You name. I'm
In some college
about the Bible, especially.
that is white supremacy at its finest. The Bible says that you have no need for a teacher.
So it says 8
for the
minutes.
Holy Spirit
Right
will
there.
give you the unction to teach.
It's 8 minutes.
Yeah, right there. Stay right there.
Okay. You got two.
Yeah, go back just a little bit. Yeah, right there.
Yeah, 5 minutes.
Oh, crazy. All right, let's go. Let's
It's
go.
I could have
I got
swore
5
that
minutes.
was 15, but go ahead.
No, I thought it was 12. He told me I had up to 11. All right, cool. Let's do this real quick. Let me share my screen real quick. So you like to make claims about the historical understanding of Christianity. I have presented here this chart of amillennialism. Can you explain to me how this is inaccurate according to the Bible in a minute? This is a systematic theology book by Wayne Grudem, which is the most popular systematic theology ever sold.
Yeah, what you could do is you could break it down and then ask me if I agree with your understanding of the diagram.
Well, let me tell you what. I'll tell you why I'm asking you. I'm asking you because you said you reject these doctrines of Esau and Edomite, but you can't refute them. How about can you refute postmillennialism and tell us why?
I never. What did I reject? Excuse me.
You said that in the video that you reject these doctrines of the eternal state and the millennium, that they're the same thing. You said. So can you explain to us why it's the same? Why it's different? Why this is wrong?
I could have swore that you asked me if I was an honest man. You're not being an honest man.
I'm being honest.
I said, show me the restored order in the text. That's what I asked.
Well, that's what I'm saying. So this is the position, right, based upon the text, because we have a state with peace. And you could ask me in your, but can you break this down? You could ask me in your time. Can you break down classical premillennialism?
I'm not familiar with that charter at all. So no.
Bro, so why would he bring it up?
Premillennialism. Can you refute it for us?
Yeah, he's trying to sound smart and retarded follower.
No, yeah, bro. Deacon brought it up, and he was like, basically because these people hold to it, you got to hold to it. And then he was like, okay, what is it? I don't even know what that chart is, bro. This is a basic chart, and so you got like you have all these different systematic theology books that lay out the doctrines of the Bible. The most basic one that everybody gets is I think it's Gregum or Gredum. I have it, and it's on some page. I saw this exact same chart in there. So that's where he's getting it from, in case anybody's curious.
I know it's talking about before the rapture, I believe, when it's the pre-trib. Premillennialism is dealing with things happening before what certain theologians call a 1,000-year reign. I don't hold to any of that. I hold to when Christ comes back. So this is why I said show me in the text. This is why I said show me in the text, because I need to see it in the text more so than your early church fathers.
Well, you told me that there's no eternal state, right?
He said the early church fathers.
I never said that, sir. I said show me that phrase in the Bible. Cool. That's all I said.
Okay. All right. Cool. So I'm done with sharing the screen. Let's see where else we can go. How long I got, JP?
This man said the early church fathers.
3 minutes?
That is not the early church fathers.
I have until 15 minutes.
Yeah,
all right.
This dude Deacon is funny, bro. He's so funny, bro, because he's all over the place.
All right. Okay. You know what? Actually, let me see. I think let me skim around real quick, see if I got any other questions, because I basically went through all of them. No, I'm good with my time. Thank you so much. Thank you for that, Deacon. Appreciate it.
No problem.
All right, Deacon, I will start the time as soon as you speak, or you ask your first question. It's up to you. Want me as soon as you speak, or as soon as you ask your first question?
Okay, let me set my timer as well. Okay, I'm ready.
All right.
Let me reset mine. Go ahead.
All right. So my first question is, you said on the phone that there's no ethnic hierarchy in the kingdom of heaven, correct?
There's not. In the restored order, I told you, the eternal order.
Okay. So when Christ comes back, is that when the kingdom starts?
So when the original Messiah came, when the true Messiah came, he said the kingdom is at hand, but it's in part, not yet. So the kingdom's near us, and it started. Let me finish my answer. The kingdom started, and the kingdom is growing just the same way as King David did. He ascended to the throne in stages, and there's going to be an ultimate restoration of all things. The Messiah is going to reign on earth. That's the millennium. And then there's going to be ultimate restored order. There's differences about where the 7 years fit. I didn't land on a position of the tribulation, but there's differences of that opinion. but the eternal order is outside of the millennium.
Okay, I'm fine with that answer. In Revelation 11 and 15,
Sure.
it says when the seventh angel sounds. Are you saying the seventh angel sounds 1,000 years after Christ comes back?
I don't know where this actually fits inside of all of this. So let me pull it up real quick. Let me
No
see.
worries,
Let me look
no
at my
worries.
outline. Revelation. You said Revelation 11,
11
15?
and 15.
Yeah, let me pull it up real quick. Revelation 11, 15. Let me pull it up real quick. All right. Revelation 11, 15. All right. 7, Christ reign foreseen. Okay. So I think that it's just the foreshadowing of what's ultimately going to come.
So that doesn't answer my question. Does the seventh angel sound when Christ cracks the cloud, or 1,000 years after he comes to earth?
So I see a distinction between the millennial reign and the eternal order. Some of how these things play out, I believe that's on this side of things, right?
Okay.
That's on this side of things as things
no
are playing
worries,
out.
no worries.
Yep.
Do you agree that Isaiah 60 happens when Christ comes back?
Possibly. I think Isaiah 60 talks about what is ultimately going to happen, leading up to the restoration of all things.
Okay, I'm gonna ask you again. You said possibly.
I answered.
You said
Possibly.
possibly.
Yeah.
Okay.
So basically, go ahead. Answer your
Okay.
question.
So in Isaiah 60,
Mhm.
it says that for the nation and kingdom that
Mhm.
the Lord's going to glorify Israel. Does that
What verse
happen?
are you on? What verse are you on?
Okay. In Isaiah 60, it says that the Israelites will get the light. When do the Israelites get the light?
What verse are you on?
Isaiah 60 and 1.
Yeah, Isaiah 60. It said, "Rise, shine, for your light has come, and the glory of the Lord has risen upon you."
Mm-hmm.
You see Israel there?
When do the Israelites get the light?
This is your verse, brother. I don't know.
Okay, you don't know. Okay. So,
I think the restoration of all things is in the eternal order when there's no pain, no weeping, no gnashing.
Okay, so you're
There's none of
saying
that
that
stuff happening. People are restored.
there's a potential that Isaiah 60 can happen before Christ returns?
Well, what I'm saying is this is the glory of the Lord shining upon the people. The Messiah is returning and people are walking in his light. So the Messiah is going to be teaching from Jerusalem. We see that. Now, remember, the prophets speak in parts. They don't give the full picture of every single thing.
Okay, I'm
So
satisfied
Zechariah
with that.
2.
I'm satisfied with that. In verse 10, it says, foreigners shall build up your walls,
Yep.
and their king shall. When are Gentiles going to build up the walls of the Israelites?
I think they're probably going to build it up before. But remember, there's something that's
Before
very
Christ
important
comes
here.
back.
Yeah, but let me answer you though. There's something that's really important too, is that the Messiah is completely a stand-in for Israel. So when we look at the end times, there is for sure a restoration of things that are happening. And yeah, so the nations could come in and serve that. We have passages where the one from the nations is going to grab the fringes of a Jew and is going to say, "Hey, let us go with you," right? Because we've heard that God is with you. So
I'm
yeah, the
satisfied.
nations are going to serve them and build them up.
Okay, I'm satisfied with that. Verse 12 says, for the nation and kingdom that will not serve you shall perish.
Yep.
When do the nations serve the Israelites?
So look, there can be death in the millennial reign, like I said in Zechariah 14. Leading
So
up
the
to that,
nations
the
are going to
people, let me
serve the
answer you, brother. Let me
Israelites.
answer you. I need that minute, brother, please, respectfully. Zechariah 12, Zechariah 13, 14 talks about this restoration. Israel is going to receive them. In chapter 14, the nations that don't go to celebrate Sukkot, the Feast of Tabernacles, are going to have judgment upon them because they're not following the way the Messiah is teaching the law from Jerusalem.
Okay. Now, so is it wrong that God is going to make these nations serve the Israelites, whether it's before Christ or after Christ?
So in the millennium, there's death, there's sin, there's wickedness, there's all those things.
I didn't ask
So
that.
the Gentiles,
I
I'm
didn't ask
leading
that,
up to.
sir.
I'm leading up to.
Let me
I'm
rephrase
leading
my.
up to.
Okay,
Yeah,
please,
go ahead.
thank you.
Go ahead.
I just want to know simply yes or no. Is it wrong that God is going to make nations serve the Israelites, whether it's before Christ comes or after Christ comes?
What do you mean? The question that I would be asking, but I'm not, is what do you mean by serve?
You're
right?
asking. You're
We
asking.
often
You're
there's a-
asking. You're not allowed to ask. The question.
You didn't hear what I said. I said the question I would ask, but I'm not going to ask, is what do you mean by serving?
Okay,
So
we're moving
serving,
on.
I'm giving you my answer. You got to let me rock with your answer.
Okay.
Serving doesn't always mean indentured servant on what happened in the transatlantic slave trade.
Okay,
There's
I
a
didn't
way
say
that people can
But
serve respectfully.
verse 10 is clear that they're building walls. That's the
Yeah.
servitude
What's
I'm
wrong with
talking
that?
about.
What's wrong with people helping to rebuild it?
No,
People
it didn't
from-
say help. No,
people-
it didn't say help. The Israelites are ruling over them and they're serving them and building their walls and they're
They're
bringing
building
all
the
their
walls
wealth.
of the land that belongs to the natural branches. There's
Okay,
nothing wrong with that.
so my question is why are they bringing their wealth to the why are they bringing their wealth to the Israelites as well?
Because it happened inside the Tanakh also. People
Okay.
gave their wealth to Solomon. They wanted to build a temple. Many people donated to it. And so it happens. It's not an issue.
So there's a potential. Everybody, he's saying that there's a
Are you
potential
talking to the?
that.
Are you asking a question?
Okay, I'm elaborating. There's a potential. I'm talking.
You got to
to
ask the
you.
question,
I'm
brother.
talking to you. My bad. So there's a potential that this happens when Christ comes back. So there's a potential that in Christ's kingdom, these nations will be bringing their glory and riches and honor and serving the Israelites. I'm fine with that answer. Let's
In
go
the
to
millennial
Isaiah
reign,
61.
I said. In the
But that's
millennial
still
reign.
but that's still when Christ comes back.
In the
So
millennial reign.
Isaiah 61.
In the millennial reign.
Isaiah 61 says the year of the Lord's favor, right?
Yeah.
Now, and it says the
Hey,
same
pause it
thing.
real quick.
Strangers shall stand and tend to your flocks.
What's wrong?
Do you see why he wanted to point out in the millennial reign?
No, okay. What about it?
So he pointed that out because Deacon mixes, which I have a different eschatological view of the end times, but he basically, Rabbi holds that, there's going to be that millennial reign, and then after there's going to be the eternal kingdom, which the millennial reign is the mediatorial kingdom of Christ here on earth. And Deacon mixes those together. So when Rabbi says that this is going to take place in the millennial reign and not in the eternal kingdom, he's letting you know that this is not the full salvation. He's basically letting you know that my view of salvation is different from Deacon's. He's saying that this millennial reign and the eternal kingdom are the same thing. That's why you have people still dying, but after the millennial reign, death and sin are no more. So this can't be speaking about the eternal kingdom. That's what he's been trying to say, and that's why he was asking him to explain that chart, because he doesn't even separate the two, and he has no idea what either are and what they have to do with anything.
Damn.
Yeah.
You're okay with Gentiles picking the cotton and being in the field working for the Israelites?
There's cotton in the kingdom?
Why wouldn't there be?
Why are we picking
You
cotton?
live in South Carolina?
Why wouldn't there be? Why would they be
South Kakalaki?
Thank you. I appreciate that. But why would there be plowmen?
I don't know if you
and
get cotton from you.
Because the same issue that you're making, you're not distinguishing between the eternal order, where there's no sin, there's no weeping, there's no gnashing of teeth, there's no rebellion, there's no pain.
I'm not speaking
Clearly,
of the eternal order.
I need a minute for my answer, brother. I need a minute for my answer. So in the eternal order, there is no sin. In the millennial reign, there's still sin. So the nations can come and help and serve Israel, just like they're doing now.
Okay.
The nations are helping to support Israel in their existence. Those that are Zionists and supporting the nation, there's nothing wrong with it. The nations supported all the people. And when it came time for them to build the tabernacle, the nations gave of their stuff to help them do it.
I'm fine with that answer. I'm fine with that answer. Are you telling me that the millennial reign can happen? It's called the millennial reign. You're saying that the millennial reign can happen without Christ coming to the earth?
No, Messiah is reigning from Jerusalem.
Okay, good. So this happened.
And I'm not done. I need a minute, brother.
No, wait, let me just clarify so you can answer.
You're gonna cut me off on my answer and then go on. I gotta answer. You asked your question. You stop. You gotta let me rock. You gotta let me rock, brother.
Pause the time.
You gotta let me rock.
See, I told you.
You told me not to pause my time, and I put the pictures and didn't take the time either.
But I'm answering.
You need a handicap?
I answered your questions. You're not answering my questions.
Please. Okay, Deacon, ask your question.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right, time is starting again.
So my question is he's trying to say that Isaiah 60, he doesn't know if it happens when Christ comes back or not, but then he says it's the millennial reign. But Christ has to be on the scene in the millennial reign, so that means nations are serving the Israelites when Christ comes back.
Is that a question?
Yes.
Oh, shit.
Where's the question mark on that?
You're saying all this happens in the millennial reign, not the restored order, but the millennial reign happens when Christ comes back. So these strangers are serving Israelites when Christ comes back, correct?
Do you have I don't hear a verse that's proving that.
Isaiah 60, the whole chapter.
Yes, so the nations serving the Messiah when he's reigning in Jerusalem is not a problem.
It didn't say the Messiah, it said the Israelites.
I'm not done. So they're serving the Messiah and serving the Israelites who are there is not an issue.
Thank you.
Why is it not an issue? But you got to let me finish my statement because that's dishonest. Why is it not an issue? Because they did it before and there's still sin in the world. The day's going to come when there is no sin And there's not going to be no weeping, no gnashing of teeth, no crying. There's not going to be any whipping of lashes, and all things are going to be restored. And everybody's going to sing, "Holy, holy is the Lord God Almighty," and be dressed in white robes, clean before Him.
Thank you. I appreciate
You're
you.
welcome.
So moving forward, in Isaiah 60:12, you do agree that it's not just Christ. You already said that though. You said it's not just Christ. It's the Israelites. It's the Israelites that the Gentiles are serving as well. Correct?
I don't know what that
Isaiah
sentence just meant. I
Isaiah
apologize.
60:12. You did say that. For the nation and kingdom that will not serve you shall perish.
I said that from Zechariah 14, that there was punishment for the people, and that nations that don't serve God can die on this side of the thing. They can be punished. Nations can be punished. But God always has a remnant. He did it for Israel. He does it for the world. There were 7,000 who didn't bow the knee to Baal. So there's going to be many that are going to be able to say yes and be part of the remnants of God of Israel.
Okay, I got you. So what is a heathen?
Oh yeah.
Heathen is a pagan.
Pagan. What do you mean by pagan?
Somebody who's a heathen. No, I'm just kidding. Somebody who doesn't worship the one true God.
So Israelites can be heathens?
And Israelites can be heathens.
Okay. What is the Greek word for Gentile?
The Greek word for Gentile? I don't even remember off the top of my head, honestly.
Okay.
Was that 1484?
Ethnos.
Okay. So in Revelation 2:26, it says, "He that overcometh and keepeth my works until the end." Would you say that this is when Christ comes back, overcometh and keepeth my works until the end?
Well, I think this is before, right? I think it's just a proclamation of a declaration of what one should do. The one who overcomes, the one who keeps my deeds, and I will give him authority over the nations. So I think those that preserve are going to have authority over the nations, but I don't think this is the eternal order because there's no hierarchy in the eternal order.
Oh, okay, nice. I appreciate that. So how much time
No,
do
you
I
don't.
have, JP?
You have
because you need hierarchy.
This is the time right here, brother. So,
yeah, I got the same thing.
I can't see. Okay.
10:35. You
got
got 10
okay.
minutes.
10 minutes. We're going to start you off 10 minutes. 10 minutes. So,
okay, thank you. I appreciate that.
He ain't got 10 minutes. He got 4 minutes and 30 seconds. Because 10 minutes already went by. And that's why he should have had to count down. What kind of phone he got, bro? He got the Obama phone?
Yeah. He needs to have the timer on the screen.
Yeah, I mean, okay, that's okay. But if you don't, if you got in your can, at least have it going down. Why you got it going up? That's why everybody confused. Everybody think he has 10 minutes, and now he think he got 10 minutes. And this ain't really what I wanted to see. This debate. Even though this is good, I wanted to see more about Romans and Grafton. Or, being cut off. Because this right here is not going to prepare me for that debate. Because I was waiting, like, they never got there. Okay, so let me do that.
Yeah, this is more like Old Testament.
Yeah, this ain't what I was looking for. To be 100. All right.
But it's funny, Deacon got all those books. I guarantee he has not read any one of those books. Like actually went in depth and studied those.
He has never read a book with about 200 pages or more from front to back.
For real. Like, I wonder what Liddell and Scott says about Ganao and Aganete.
Who?
Liddell and Scott, that book that he mentioned, it's a Greek lexicon.
Okay, right.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. They do stuff. Yeah, so that was more like they were debating salvation for real. All right. So that wasn't really what I was looking for. But so now I know what they were debating. Okay. Oh, so a virgin birth debate on JJ 7000 channel. Some Hebrews I never heard. They both Hebrew Israelites, and one is negative and one is positive. So I'll check it out, you know, to see what I doubt if the One West guy gonna bring out something new as far as like defending Joseph as a dad. I think, you know, the stereotypical. Yeah, that's the thing that's weird to me. Like these guys, like if I was to study the Trinity, if I was to study oneness or Unitarianism,
Yeah.
Unitarianism, if I was to study that stuff, I would not study from one person. I would study from many different people, and I would put in my own words, right? To make me, you know, I got it from, I got their arguments, but I don't just have his. I don't just have Rogers. I got this guy, that guy, this guy. I got more, all y'all. And now it's my own words, you know. So now I got new. They don't do that, bro. The One West guys, they literally repeat from the same, all of them from the same source. Nothing's new, same playbook, nothing's added, not your own words, verbatim, same dumb logic, same points, everything's exactly the same. You watch the Trinity debate, you'll see Sam Shimon does things different than Anthony. Anthony does things different from White. Like they will have different ways to argue different points. But One West all do the same thing. So if you beat one, you beat them all. Like they like it's like down. Okay, so now it's pretty long. Now this is part 2. I think I can do that one. I got a couple right here. I got Sakari, 53 minutes.
And it's funny because whenever they debate Romans 11, I've seen this and I'm like, man, there's no way they actually just don't understand this at all. But I give them too much credit. They always say, verse 23, they say, well, if Paul is speaking to Gentiles, how does it say in verse 23 that God is able to graft them in again? They can't be grafted in again because they were never a part of the tree in the first place. I'm like, bro, do you see the second person pronouns and the third person pronouns? That's like basic grammar to show you, like for instance, if Paul said, I am an apostle of the Gentiles, he's not saying you are an apostle of the Gentiles, because that's
Right.
basic grammar. But yeah, they all consistently say that. And at this point, I'm really just asking, I'm like, are you just regurgitating what you hear? Or are you actually like studying this stuff for yourself and checking up on what whoever's giving you this information saying? Because like, even though I have a pastor, I still like, I still fact check him. I'm like, okay, he said this. Let me go see if I can find this. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, you got a few of them that study got their own thing, different from Chief, Guerrilla Hebrew, and Chief, Captain and Chief, this guy, Chief, that guy. You got a few of them their own little research, but for the most part, all of them pretty much go the same playbook. All right, so God, logic, and Captain. Do they touch on the Gentiles at all, the Romans?
Yeah.
Let me take a peek at this.
It was hard for me to watch. Not gonna lie.
All right.
His intro is fire though.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. So we are discussing whether or not Gentile speaking. Of course, Gentiles can be saved, the non-Israelites, and I'm talking about non-Israelites, Gentiles according to the flesh, Cap. So as a Christian, I believe that Jesus is not just for the Israelites, but he was for the entire world, the Israelites first, then the rest of the nations. And so that's my position, and that's what we're gonna be getting into. Let's rock.
That's your opening?
Yeah, just a little.
All right, go ahead. You got 2 minutes.
Yeah,
You didn't tell me to break everything down.
yeah. He's
Like, you want me to break something down right now?
All right. My position on Gentiles is Gentiles always have context. So he's right when he says that Christians believe that Gentiles, meaning non-Israelites, can be saved.
And that's why for me, because you could get lost with their, their BS. That's why for me, like this debate has to be like the old school way. We just talk to each other like we did a Raila. It can't be the 15-minute, isn't it? So Sinetta calls it a weigh-in. Like we got to do it the weigh-in way first, where we talking to each other. And if we can't hash it out with that, then you set up a real debate. But it shouldn't go. It shouldn't go straight to real debate because there's so much that's going to be lost. Because these guys like the Gentile, and they confuse the audience. You got to come behind that. This is a mess. You're able to answer the questions because by doing that, I get the foundation of their debate, their argument. It's like, okay, so now we know what they believe, what they don't believe. Okay, so they can't do a switcheroo when it's time to debate. Okay, cool, got you. So when I asked the guy about Romans, I never talked about anything other than Romans. I didn't ask him about Matthew. I didn't ask him about this, that. I kept it in Romans because I already know if you mess up in Romans, like you're just gonna hold the L. And he messed up, and he really got confused. I think all of them will, and that's why I maintain. I'm gonna do my questions. They all get confused. Well, at least he did, but I think they all will follow suit. When you ask about those branches, the natural and the broken off. So, case in point, I'm gonna just read it from the little dialogue I had. Where is this guy? Oh, right here. All right. So I ain't gonna share my screen on it because I don't want this guy, because I ain't debate him yet, so I can't like show a screen name because these guys are gonna warn them. The IBMs, these haters act like they're our friends. They in the background trying to get brownie points. Yo, that's somebody's sport. That's me. These guys are professionals.
They got all their talking points from me.
Right. But now, no, when he goes to them, he ain't gonna lie. He's gonna be honest.
Mm-hmm.
These guys are the truth. They got this, that. They do this. They do this, man. So look them up before you debate these guys. They're not who they're pretending. That's what he's gonna do. That's what Apostle's gonna do. Okay, that's exactly what they're gonna do. All right. So watch this. I'm gonna play this right here. I'm gonna set it up with this. Okay, so a simple question, right? Okay, so it was how, this is my question I'm gonna ask you guys. How is an Israelite that is a Gentile, right? So that means an Israelite who, according to them, how is an Israelite who's into idolatry, into not obeying God? So they would call him a Gentile, like he's in a Gentile state. So I'm saying, okay, how was a Gentile? I'm sorry, how was the Israelite, a wicked Israelite in a Gentile state? How is he different than a natural Gentile? Okay, and he said, first thing, the understanding of Jew and Gentile. Israelites that stopped keeping the laws and commandments were treated as Gentiles. The nations free. Okay, so the language is funny. They're treated as Gentiles. I don't know how you do that. Like you're either treated like a sinner or like you're like a saint. Like I don't know how you're treated as a Gentile. Like, what is a Gentile? Okay. So he says, during the time of the New Testament, Israelites from the tribe of Judah, Benjamin, and Levi, the Jews, or the southern kingdom of Israel. I'm going to give you some examples. Okay, so in other words, the Messiah told us to treat our brothers like heathens if they wouldn't repent of their sins against us. So again, he keep talking about treat you like a heathen, you like a sinner or whatever. So he said contextually, a heathen would be a non-Israelite. Okay, so he confirmed. He said, but he's telling them to treat their fellow Israelites like a non-Israelite, I guess a heathen. So he said, But then he went to John 4 and 7. He said, this Samaritan woman is an Israelite. He said, from the northern kingdom. I mean, he's making stuff up on the fly. She is never referred to Messiah as an Israelite, though. Okay, so he's acting like the Messiah treated her with tough love. He didn't want to acknowledge. I mean, what is okay, dude? So if we're behaving like Gentiles, okay, then the seed doesn't matter no more. The sperm doesn't matter no more. Like my father don't matter to you. So I mean, okay. So I'm behaving like Esau. So now my father determined my identity is overrid by that. So I will never. So I'm not going to be called Jew anymore or Northern. I'm going to be called Gentile in spite of my father. So this goes against their own teaching. So you get to call me something. So you get to call me something I'm not. Why you bragging? So what about Numbers 118? Like, call me by my dad. Yeah, I'm wicked, but I'm still an Israelite.
Right. Like, why don't they tell Israelites, quote unquote, they meet on the street, like, oh, brother, you're a Gentile right now, but you could become an Israelite.
Yeah, they won't get to do that. Then they call the wicked ones Israel. Hey, well, what's your father? Okay, for you from, now he from nothing. He a Gentile. Okay, so he goes on with John. You talk about cringeworthy. You said this is cringeworthy. Well, cringeworthy to me is trying to break down John 4 and that they're all Northern Israelites. Like that is really, really just not my thing. Like, dude, just change the subject. I care you want. I don't care. Because it's so stupid and I just can't sit through it. So he says Northern Kingdom went into heavy idolatry. Okay, so then he give me random verses that means like Deacon did. It means absolutely nothing. Doesn't help us point out. It just makes him seem like he's smart. But they have nothing. He ain't entitlement at all. Just random passages.
Yeah.
So and more. So then he went to the Stones. Okay, Ecclesiastes 3 and 5. And by the way, bro, he's picking and choosing which translation to use. So sometimes he's doing NLT, sometimes he's doing KJV, sometimes he's doing the Quran. Like who knows? He just Book of Mormons. He's just trying to find whatever agrees with him, and he's going to share it. Yeah, one time I joked with him. I said, "Bro, what translation is that? I said, is that the Quran?" He said, "Oh man, I use different translations." That's wild. Like how you even? All right. So he went to do the stone thing, which is weird. And I'm just like trying to follow this guy. So then he went into Strong's 1471, Goey, Goey, there's like the Gentile thing. So then he said the word Gentile in Hebrew is just talking about it. Okay, so this is the part I like. He said the word Gentile in Hebrew, it just so he's finally honest now. It's like it's really interesting when they're honest because like that means they knew the whole time. They just a bunch of just liars, man. So it reminds me when the Bible said, "Let no man deceive you." Man, he should come my name is Christ. Look, he's finally honest, bro. He says the word Gentile in Hebrew is just talking about a nation of people. He said, but once Israel was chosen, they were told to live set apart from the nations. So he agreed that the nations are the nations. They're non-Israelites. So why y'all lying about the context then? All right. Anyway, right. So now we need to get on with that. So we should establish that first. Yo, man, Gentile is just a nation of people, right? Yeah.
I think I think that mouse.
So we should beat them to their own punch. So anyway, blah blah blah. So I said Gentiles are Gentiles because they weren't chosen by God. I said, so when Israel became Gentiles, they were no longer chosen by God anymore because not to be chosen means to become a Gentile. So he said earlier, he said that Israel was chosen and now they're no longer Gentiles because they're chosen. So I said, so when God calls Israel Gentiles, are they unchosen? That handful of Israelites? So he said, I'm
Right.
gonna say God, he said, I'm gonna say God turned his back on them, even though they were chosen. Okay. So if they're still chosen, then it's still Israel. So why you call them Gentiles? You just said I'm see this is the the revolving door.
I would like to see any of the prophets or apostles call themselves Gentiles. Like, what about like Apostle Paul? He was killing followers of Christ daily, and he was persecuting. He said he was persecuting the church. Why didn't he say, "Oh, at this point, I
Yeah,
was a Gentile, but
right.
now I'm an Israelite"?
Yeah, don't worry. I'm gonna get on that. I'm trying to remember my whole argument. So he said a whole bunch of nothing, and I said, wait a minute. I thought you read that Israel became Gentiles. He said they did. It was the adultery that made them be looked like as heathen and Gentiles. So again, they're being looked like, bro. Oh, okay. If you're being looked like something, aren't you still what you are? So
Right.
so why am I being called? I'm being called my name by God. God like name called. Okay. So now I said this. I said, so the Gentile is more of an action. He said, in the sense of the Israelite being called a Gentile, correct. I said, so natural Gentiles are only Gentiles because of their actions. So of course you're gonna say no.
Mm.
So he said no. So I said, okay, I think I got it. Israel are Gentiles from an action verb, but natural Gentiles are born that way now. So I said, but what if natural Gentiles? I said, but what if natural Gentiles act like Israel verb? Can God see them as Israel?
That's a good one.
Oh, it's good. They will never be looked at. Blasphemous. I said, kill you on the spot. They will never be looked at as Israelites. But in the kingdom to come, they will have to follow the laws and rules of that kingdom, which will be ran by the Israelites.
You know what you should ask instead of that? What might be better? You should be like, okay, so when they're not acting like Gentiles and they're acting like Israelites, are they Israelites? And then if they say yes to that, then you could be like, oh, so when they're not acting like Gentiles and they're acting like Israelites, Israelite is an action in that sense.
Right.
Then go that way and then say that part about Gentiles. I think if you get them to admit that much, that these are just merely actions on their part, then
Yeah.
okay, then Gentiles can do this as well.
Right. So
Otherwise, how are Gentiles going to even be in the kingdom? Because the ones that don't, quote unquote, serve the Israelites, that means they're disobedient. So they're going to go into everlasting torment, or however they hold that to be. So then technically, if no Gentiles act like Israelites, then none of them are getting into the kingdom, and there are going to be no servants to the Israelites.
right.
That would
And
actually be a good one to full circle on.
I used to always hate Facebook debating, but I'm like, I get more done here. I'm like, you know what? Let me rethink this Facebook debate. Let me start Facebook debating because I get a lot more done typing because it's like less emotions and yeah. So I think I should get from now on. I'm gonna do this first and then
Thanks,
debate.
man.
So
Yeah.
So I read Romans 11:19. I said, "Thou wilt say then, the branches were broken off, that I might be grafted in." I read verse 21. For if God spared not the natural branches, take heed lest he should separate not thee. So I said, who are the natural branches and the broken ones? Okay. So he said, it is a branch that comes naturally from that tree. The tree is Israel. The branches broken off are Israelites that aren't keeping the commandments and being driven away. So I said, which Israelites aren't keeping the commandments? Is that the north, as you said earlier, or the Samaritans, etc.? I'm trying to put them all.
Then they'll be like, oh no, it wasn't just the north, it was also the south. So okay, so it's a mix. So now it's just letting you know these are just in general disobedient Israelites. Yeah, they start to change up their arguments, It's like they never read, when you're reading, like especially Romans 11, it's like they never read the whole chapter.
Right. So now I'm trying to slow him down. So now he gave me a whole bunch of passages that meant nothing, like just smoke screen. So I said, okay, now back to the tree. I said the tree has two branches. The branch that is broken off was wicked South Israel, and the branch that remained was righteous South. Because it's a bunch of he gave me a bunch of precepts. And a bunch of precepts were dealing with just Southern Israel. So I'm like, so the branch, so this is where he was trying to go. Because he knows not going he kind of almost guessed where I was going, it seemed like. So he knew he was done. So he knew he couldn't say, from his passages he sent, it almost came off as the branches being broken off are the wicked Southern Israelites. Because remember, he got to justify who the Gentiles are. Like they're waiting to get back in. Right? So he got to say the Northern Israel. And the branch falling off are the Southern. So when I phrase it like that, he thought about it. And he said, perfect question. But he gave me Ezekiel 37:19 that talk about the sticks. Joseph.
Yeah.
Yeah. That had nothing to do it. So this is what I said. I said the two nations that were split will be joined as under one God. He asked me what that means. So I said, yeah. So he said, yeah. He said, and this is also a point of view of the branches, right? So this is what I said next. I said, he said, take two parentheses broken sticks, okay? So now, if these are the branches, then why are they both cut off? Okay, so yes, you had to run from that, right? So it's like, you're like, fuck, who the fuck is God in this? Fuck. So he went to say something else. So I said, is this answer? So he said a bunch of nothing. I said, so does this answer my question? He said, yes, but if you need more explanation, let me know. So I said, what's confusing me is that he's not only recognizing Israel as Gentiles, but he's identifying them as Gentiles and no longer Israel, which to me shows that he cut them off by their actions, leading them to be Gentiles, undistinguishable from natural Gentiles. You see where I'm going? Like, I said, so because they're Gentiles, no matter how they became Gentiles. So the bottom line, they're Gentiles. No matter how they got there, they're with the other Gentiles. They are coupled as one. So I said, could they have one thing in common? So I said, which is not to follow the ways of God. So he said, so I said, but my question of the branches was this from what you said. And they, all Gentiles provoke God. I said like that. So he said, no, all Gentiles didn't go, break God's law. So he went to so many passages, whatever. So then, he's trying to throw me off. So I said, okay, so I got back Romans 11:19. I said, the branches that's being broken off, who are these that were broken off? The ones that stated, who are they? So he sent Jeremiah 16:19. I mean, bro, he just going to the playbook. This has nothing to do. This is not an answer. So, so I said, whatever. So now he gave me answers, right? But look how I responded. I'm like, but what are your responses to the two questions? So I didn't even accept them as answers. Like, I made that clear. Like, you give me a lot of passages, but bro, can you respond to those two questions? He said, oh, sorry, hold on. So he felt bad because he thought he did. Like, he thought he did. But since I ain't buy that, I'm like, yo, can you answer the question, please? He's like, oh, I thought I did. So he went to Jeremiah 11:16. Okay, the Lord called thy name a green olive tree.
Israel and Judah. Yeah.
Smoke screen. So then he went to Romans 11:23. And if the people of Israel turn from their unbelief, they will be grafted in again. For God, I mean, dude, this is 11. You can't go to Romans 11. You talk about that. That's in question. Tell me. So I said, I'm guessing those that were broken off. So now I'm just concluding for him. So I said, I'm guessing those that were broken off is a mixture of Ephraim and Judah. He said, correct. Bro, that was my conclusion from what he's messing up. So I'm basically saying, are you trying to say this? He said, so I said it, I get his argument back. They gave an answer. He said correct. Like, oh, I like this guy is slow.
You know what you got to do? You got to have like a chart, like just quick on like a Word document and just be like, okay, Israelites,
Yeah, you know what? Yeah, I should do that.
Israelites acting like Gentiles are called Gentiles, and just be like, is this true? And you'd be like, yeah. And then type out the next one. Israelites acting like Israelites are called Israelites. Is this true? Yep. Gentiles acting like Gentiles are called Gentiles. Is this true? He might say no, but he might say yes. And then type out the last one. Israelites acting like, or Gentiles acting like Israelites. Are these called Israelites?
Blasphemy.
That would be a good one. Blasphemy.
So I said, so he said correct. So I said, so who's waiting to replace them and be grafted in? All right, because they're a mixture. So this way he came full bore range. So I'm gonna save you the reading. So he said this. He finally said, okay, the ones who are being grafted, the ones who are being broken off, is a mixture of northern and southern. He said, but those same people who are cut off will be also the ones being grafted back in.
Right. That's true.
So I was like, okay.
No, that is true, but they just think verse 23 is regarding the Gentiles. That's their biggest hangup.
Right. Right. So that's why I left it alone. So I said, because he kept trying to prove to me the tree is Israel. So I said, bro, we agreed the tree is Israel. I said, do you believe the passage is saying the same branch? Okay, so I clarified for him. I said, so you trying the same branch people that are broken off are the same people who are grafted? No. Okay, well, there's a little more to that. The branch that's being broken off, being cut off, those are actually Israelites. Okay. Now, the real Gentiles are the ones being grafted in. Now, the ones being broken off, they still could be grafted in with the Gentiles, or maybe afterwards. But they still have
again.
Right. Okay. He didn't say that. He said ones being the Gentiles waiting, they don't exist. So Romans 11 lied. Ain't nobody waiting for, or ain't nobody replacing temporarily the ones being cut off. He said the ones being cut off, there's nobody there. Like there's no Gentile there to replace them or provoke the jealousy. The ones broken off are going to just be grafted back in later. Okay, so now that is again all of their answers, bro. All of their answers, they'll be in more trouble. I'm gonna say, okay, so what do they gotta do? Now I ain't say this to him, but I'm gonna say this to whoever. Okay, got it. So what do those Gentile Israelites gotta do to be grafted back in? He gotta say do good. I'm gonna say, bro, but damn, we in Romans. We in Romans. Where are they? Who gonna teach? Who gonna show them the light? Okay, so now they gotta make the Gentiles from that point on as being taught Israelites. So they kind of like give you the W. So, okay, now we're gonna play tug of war with these Gentiles. And then you can even go back to Matthew 10 and Matthew 15, 24, and like confuse you even more. But so
I try to reel some in. I just posted. I said any Hebrew Israelites want to discuss is Jesus. I'm not saying it's Jesus God, it's Jesus Yahweh, or is God a racist? Somebody's gonna bite.
Yeah, it looks like I'm not even a Trinitarian, and I don't even know the argument that good. But like they struggling with me, so I'm like, damn, I ain't got a chance with a one. God damn.
That Hebrews 1:6, man. Cut him up.
Yeah, I know a little bit. So he said, so when he tried to make the two verses, because I asked him, hey, are you a Trinitarian oneness or you are a Unitarian, right? So he's like, neither. So he had this weird position that just meant nothing. So then when he went to show me a contradiction between Colossians 1:16 and 1 and 3, so I said, bro, he said, this is a contradiction. I said, to whom? I said, bro, this is not a contradiction to oneness, modalists. Like, bro, this makes perfect sense to them. they believe Jesus is the same person. So if Jesus made the world in 16, that's God, right? The Father. And if the Father made the world and created everything in John, it's the same guy. Like that's not a contradiction to modalism. So I say Trinitarians, they believe it's not a contradiction because Jesus works in unison with the Godhead or with God, which is everybody. I said, so like they don't look at it as that. I said, you're the only person that's going to find out a contradiction. You're the only person got to wrestle with it. So I said, so how do you explain this? He couldn't, bro. He didn't even try. So I said, see, so basically he can't explain his contradiction. So he has to just pick one. And he's going to pick John. He's going to pick Colossians 1:16. And he's going to make up some foolishness for John 1 to make it make sense for him. That's what he's going to do. Like now he's just going to make up a doctrine. So then I said, so that was it. So but that guy's pretty much it. And I left it. I left it like that. All right. So
yeah, that's good. He at least don't possibly think about it. You at least gave him ample questions and certain things, and if he's diligent, he'll go back and look at that for sure.
Yeah. So really,
no, that's a good exchange.
Yeah. So really, I want to just lay a foundation, and like I didn't even like go too much in Romans 11 to show like it says third person who he's actually speaking to because he made those mistakes. He believes he's only speaking. He said already that he said Romans 11 is just about it's only Israelites being spoken about. So I don't need to like go magnify him more. Hey, this second person I don't got because it's over. He already made that mistake.
Yeah.
So but those questions I felt like I needed he needs to answer those first and foremost, and he did. He's in trouble. So now you said these two are going to go into some of that.
What'd you say?
You said these two are going to talk about some of that.
Like I'm not gonna lie, I didn't watch the entire thing. I know they go into Romans 11, but you can see kind of early that like God Logic doesn't know their talking points. So he kind of like he'll ask a question, Cap will answer it in a way God Logic doesn't expect, and he's like trying to figure out where to go next. So it was a little bumpy for me to watch. I didn't sit through all of it. It's kind of hard to bear, and that's why I think he made that say he realized I'm about to start getting in the lab, and I'm coming for y'all because he kind of saw their tricks. They're very similar to the Muslim tricks, you know.
Right. All right, so I think he start right here.
Physically.
Okay, so how do you interpret then, I guess, Romans 11? Obviously, it talks about how the Jews are the natural branches that were cut off, and then the wild olive was grafted in, and how they're not of Israel. As a matter of fact, he even starts off with saying, now to you Gentiles, I say to you. Right. At first he was speaking to the Israelites earlier in the chapter, and then now he's speaking to the Gentiles who were not the natural branches. So I would obviously think that they were non-Israelites.
That's what you would think. The subject matter of Romans the 11th chapter is, has God cast away his people? We agree, right?
Correct.
And he says, God forbid.
Yes.
Then the ending verse in Revelation, in verse 26, it says, and so all Israel shall be saved as it is written. We agree, right?
Say that again, sorry.
In verse 26, Romans 11 and 26, it says, and so all Israel shall be saved as it is written. Mm-hmm. We agree there, right?
Yes.
So how could the subject be about non-Israelites when the conclusion of everything that he says so all Israel shall be saved? It doesn't say all nations shall be saved.
I agree. I don't think that all nations will be saved because not all nations will come into belief. But it specifically talks about how the Israelites were cut off. The natural branches are the Israelites. They're cut off. And then so now the wild branches that are not originally part of the natural tree are now grafted in. Now the Israelites are the natural are part of the natural branches. And so the unnatural ones or the wild ones obviously will be non-Israelite Gentiles.
No. because the most important part, the reason why it's called a wild olive tree is because this tree doesn't look like all trees. Because when you first go to Romans 11, before we get to the wild olive tree, I want to start at verse 13, if you don't mind.
Yeah.
It says, "For I speak to you Gentiles, inasmuch as I'm the apostle of the Gentiles, I magnify mine office. If by any means I may provoke to emulation them which are my flesh, and might save some of them." The only flesh that Paul has are Israelites. Right. That's what he says according to Romans 9:4. Right. So now when you go, it says, I'm going to go down to where you're talking about. It says,
what'd you say?
So you back?
Yeah, I'm here. Yeah.
Yeah, so for me, I forgot my entire argument, so I'm like brushing up my old notes. And so now I got, you see my playlist. Wait, let me show you my playlist on salvation. You see all these videos, right? So
yeah.
I plan on watching all. Look, and one is like 8 hours, but this is 4 hours, 3
Dang.
hours, 2 hours, 3 hours, 3 hours, 3 hours. This one 8 hours. Okay.
Hit those three little dots by that X.
Yeah.
No, not that one. On the whole playlist.
Right here?
Yeah. I was gonna see if there's a sharing option. I don't think there is. That's the only thing that sucks about playlists. You can't just share the whole thing.
And you can. I got it on private. That's why.
Oh yeah. If you can share that with me, I'll check out some of those too. I'm always looking for. Dude, these videos be in the trenches, bro. Like I don't even know where they be at.
Yeah, because I got some other ones I gotta find. But yeah, so anyway, I plan on watching all these all over again. Well, somebody never seen me before, but even the ones I seen before on review, I plan on watching all of them all over again because I don't like to miss anything. I want to know all of their talking points, all their rebuttals. I'm a little different than them. So, yeah. So anyway, I argue that, when they say it's for Israel, because I'm saying if the tree is Israel and Gentiles are being grafted in, then they are literally being grafted in the tree of Israel. So that's going to make them Israelites. So for me, like, there's no confusion. It's like, No, it's Israel. Yeah, it's Israel. And it's going to confuse them. I'm like, no, if they're being grafted in the Israelite tree, they're Israel. So then that's when they're like, how can they become Israel? And then that's when we're going to do that. Yeah. So we could go into there's no Jew, there's no Gentile, all that type of stuff. That's later. That's Romans 1:16. That's all later. So this part won't be a stumbling block for me, like how they use it in trickery. It could confuse somebody like God Logic or somebody else.
Yeah.
Verse 16, "For if the first fruit be holy, then the lump is holy. And if the root be holy, so are the branches. And if the sum of the branches be broken off, and thou being a wild olive tree will
And the thing is, like, the way I study like the virgin birth, bro, I study so much because I'm so addicted. Cause I told you I was waking up because normally I wake up at 2 a.m., 3 a.m. and I watch like YouTube, something. I go back to sleep. With the virgin birth and learning Greek and stuff, I woke up at 3 a.m. I was not going back to sleep. I was learning Greek, watching Greek videos or watching debates or reading my own talking points, where it got to a point where all of my debates, I never used notes.
Yeah, that's how it should be.
I can recall. So because I'm bad at this form of debate with notes. Like you saw Captain read from his phone and guy, I can't do that, bro. I'm debating because I'm so like
you got to be in a flow.
Yeah, I'm so distracted that I'll misread or I can't find something right in front of me.
And then that'll mess you up.
Yeah, and then I'll start panicking because people watching. Yeah, so
yep.
So that's what happened with Captain. He was having me prove something to his channel, the part he won't show. And because I panicked because he put me on the spot, I couldn't find it. And I actually gave up. But this dummy took a call in between and like a 10-minute call, and that gave me enough time to find the scripture. So when he came and I gave up, I was like, I'll find it later. He's laughing and stuff. When he took that call, bro, I found it. Now I double checked. I'm like, damn, because he did the whole do 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 do. So I found it. I had to double check. I can't say it now and be wrong. I'm looking stupid. So I double checked. So when because that's when he thought the Son of Man meant literally the Son of Man. I said, nah, they say Son of Man, that really means the Son of God. So he didn't believe that. So he told me to find it. I couldn't find it because you know why? I thought it was in like John or Matthew. I didn't know it was in Luke. So when he took that call, I found it in Luke. Like, oh, I got him. So when he got done, he was like, ha ha, see, you can't find anything. Whatever phrase he used. So I was like, nah, I got it. So when we went back, bro, I read that thing to him. Oh no, you can't use that. And I said, matter of fact, go to where we read for the virgin birth debate when we talk about Jesus coming down like the bread, right? The manna. That passage, you know how they be saying, ain't this the son of the carpenter, whatever. So, but deep and past all of that, he's called the Son of Man, which is like pretty much they acknowledge it's the Son of God. So when I coupled that with Luke 22, bro, he was done. He had no rebuttal. He stopped being sarcastic and
with the Son of Man being the Son of God?
Yeah, bro. There's no copy of that existing on the internet. Like he only has the first 25 minutes. Everything else is done. Done. I ain't never see Captain Hyde again.
Dude, you're gonna see a lot of different emotions come out with these guys when we start getting on them.
Oh, God.
Like, bro, remember after we went through our whole what do we even call that? A conquest of Sakari on the virgin birth?
Yeah.
Bro, they said we are not debating the virgin birth anymore. Bro, we made them give up the topic, bro. I have never seen that, bro. like, bro, I don't know if we highlighted that on Vocab's channel. If we didn't, we should have. Because, bro, like, they've not given up any other topic. Every other topic is always long running. Like, I used to, before we went through all that, I used to see the virgin birth all the time on Clubhouse. Trinity is God at races, and then I'm not seeing the virgin birth as much anymore. But maybe from Captain.
Bro, I ain't see it from them yet.
Yeah.
Like Captain, the only person keeping it alive. Captain, only big.
Captain's doing it. No, he's doing it more. I follow him on Clubhouse. He's doing the virgin birth more, and what I think is that even though he in his mind he may have won that debate, because that poll came out, remember? He was like, before the poll came out, he was like, man, I don't even care about that poll. That poll got to him, bro. It got to him. So he might be thinking, man, there was probably some Hebrew Israelites in there that was voting for him. Man, I got to come back. But instead of debating you again, he's like, nah, I just got to, I got to, what's it called? Got to Mike Tyson this and fight a bunch of nobodies. I can't go up against that title fight again. I was going to say that.
I was going to say, I lose to Buster Douglas. I'm going to just beat up everybody else.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And shoot, Gorilla Hebrew's even worse. He didn't even want the title fight. He just wanted to keep beating up the little dudes.
And bro, he don't talk about the virgin birth either himself. Nope, they left that alone. So like they would choose that word, like, yo, let's leave that one alone, man.
Or they'll give you a private sparring session. Make sure nobody know about it, but we can spar. Hey, let me call you real quick. I'm gonna bring Deacon on the phone.
What else do you know? We don't know, so you can leave them alone further.
So weird, bro. Like when guys like that have a big following like that, bro, when they do stuff like that in secret, it's kind of like it should raise out some red flags for you.
Right. No, 100%.
I always hold that. My whole discussion with Hassad and all of them, I always hold that as a dub because I'm nobody. I got 50 subscribers on YouTube and you calling me in private? What?
Right. And what's so special about you? You get the private call.
Yeah. Hey, I wish when you were on Sonetta and Gorilla was like, I don't even know who you are. I wish you would have been like, bro, just ask Deacon and Hassad, bro. Ask them.
Right. Like that's hilarious because You know, they invite when I hit the link, like I'm definitely getting on. I get VIP. All right. So anyway, all right, let's continue.
Yeah.
They right at Romans 11, which I was looking for.
In. So that means that those branches are being brought back in as they once were broken off. Right. I'll give a brief
like I said, like we actually agree with that. But that's only if they change their wicked ways, which he'll probably agree to that. But those branches are so okay, the branches got chance at redemption. But
right.
but until they do that, who is replacing them?
Well, it's not replacing them. It's going to the position that they were once in, although they still have a chance to come back. Because they were replacing them, then Paul would have been like, hey, well, I don't like the word replacement because I don't believe in like replacement theology, but I would say just taking their place. You know what I'm saying? Because replacing almost has the idea like that you're not coming back, you know? Like, oh, I got your replacement after you quit your job, you know?
Shit, they might not come back.
Yeah. And that's the whole point. That's what Paul's saying. Like, hey, you are standing by faith, and these got kicked out for a lack of faith. So don't be high-minded because they got turned away because of unbelief. You will too. You hold to the same standard.
Yeah.
And Rakah, I saw him debating this slightly, not directly, indirectly with James White. He believes these Gentiles are non-Israelites, which is interesting.
No, it's not interesting because like that's
he doesn't hold that they're Israelites at all.
Right. He's been teaching that.
Oh,
like,
okay. Yeah, I didn't know that.
Yeah, I got some of this from him. Like he was the first Israelite to like give me the inside, inside trade that the Gentiles can be saved. I got that from him first.
Oh, you got that Illuminati 2 book on your shelf too?
I got that from him first, and then I got the Virgin Birth is Truth from the Comforter.
Yeah.
So I'm like, wow, like because that's like taboo.
Yep.
So it was taboo to say the Gentiles could be saved, GOCC, and it was taboo to say the Virgin Birth is true. So like I'm like, so I don't forget, I'm believing Gentiles can't be saved and Virgin Birth is false. So when I heard that coming from a West camp, I'm like, wait a minute, what the hell's going on here? That must be true, because why would they say that out of nowhere? Like, now, if it was a Catholic church, Muslims, Christianity, I would have never, y'all liars. But what made me like really take it serious, that these are reputable One West camps. Like at this point, by the way, there were no small rat tazals running around. Okay, it was only the real deal. It was only the real deal. Like it was only the real leaders that was running Israel. The camp Israel. You only had real leaders running camps, not no rat pizzazz and no the Light of Zion, all these goofy people. It was the leaders. That's it.
I think it's interesting too because a lot of the leaders, back in the day, they're older, but a lot of these guys are like, bruh, they're my age and younger.
Yeah, right.
Like I think Hassad is like 24.
Yeah.
Like, bruh, like you need more training.
Right. Yeah. You're right though. Yeah, the brother Zabak was older when he was doing it, and Elder Tahar and they're way more mature. Like they was mature. Like even Nathaniel 7, Bishop 7, whatever.
Yeah, I'm about to say Nathaniel, they do it. And at least like I disagree with their doctrine, but in the way they have their leadership, the leaders are older. Now at least respect that aspect of it. But when you got young guys coming on and claiming to know this, like, bro, you had enough time to study this. Like that's like similar situation. Billy Carson and Wes Huff. Billy Carson is like, yeah, I can read Sumerian and da-da-da. Wes Huff, he's PhD. He's like, the fact that he said that, I kind of knew he wasn't serious because Sumerian is one of the hardest languages to grasp. So like like with Hebrew, you got sister languages like Akkadian, Arabic, and some of these other languages.
Syriac.
Right. But Sumerian stands alone. So that makes it the hardest ancient language to actually grasp.
Yeah.
So I wish Wes would have actually, been like, hey, I'm gonna pull up some Sumerian. Can you just like read this for me and translate it?
Yeah.
That would have been, because that's what he said on Joe Rogan's podcast, and that's the biggest podcast in the world. And a lot of people don't know how tough Sumerian is to learn. They don't know that. I'm like, man, that's a valid point. You can see how hard this is, and you can see how long you studied in your PhD, and you don't get it. That's fair to say that somebody else similar age as you probably wouldn't get it as well.
Right. No, I get it. All right, let's go. So Captain said the branches that are broken off got a chance to come back. I mean, like that's the Christian church teach that. So like he's not saying anything. Like he's preaching to the choir. Like everybody knows that.
Right.
Jeremiah 11:16. The Lord called thy name a green olive tree, fair and goodly.
A green olive tree. Here we go.
Fruit with the noise of a great tumult. He have kindled fire upon it, and the branches of it are broken. Oh. That's how the olive trees got broken off. The branches got broken off of that olive.
Oh, wait. Okay, so that right there, it says branches. That's all. That's awful. If I say, yo, I got an apple tree in my backyard, and bro, man, you won't believe this, man. The branches were poison. The fact that I didn't specify, I just used it like that, then that means that all the branches are poison. So if the branches are broken off, that's all of them. That's different. That's different than Romans 11. It said 2 branches, one, and the other one's good. What's the point you bring that up?
Olive tree. For the Lord of hosts that planted the tree have pronounced evil against thee for an evil house.
See, I told you. All of them were destroyed because the tree was, the tree was wicked.
Right.
That's why I say, like, right, bro, this is different. He's saying all the branches on this tree were destroyed. And you just finished and confirm my point. I told you, man, I know simple English. I don't know the fancy, the Billy Carson stuff, but this is simple, right?
When you go back to Romans, the 11th chapter.
One thing I did, literally apples and oranges.
That wild olive tree is them being allowed to be grafted.
No, let's back up. See, no. Because when Bob Sports did a little research on olive trees back when I was getting into this. No, that we couldn't pull it up on me.
Great tumult, he have kindled fire upon him a green olive. Brief precept, Jeremiah 11:16. The Lord called thy name a green olive tree, fair and goodly.
Did he say wild olive tree?
Exactly. No, he didn't.
He said green olive tree. There's a huge difference between a wild olive tree and a regular olive tree. Okay, a wild olive tree fruit is smaller, and it looks different. It's weaker, or it's genetically like recessive. It's a different. It's an entirely different tree than an olive tree. A wild olive tree is totally different than an olive tree. It's almost like an apple tree that had Macintosh apples and an apple tree that has granny apples. These are 2 different trees. So grafting a Macintosh branch into a granny apple tree will be a true graft. Although they're both apples, right? They're different. One produced only Macintosh and one only produced granny, or one produced green and one produced that. That's still, although they're apples, this does not naturally belong there. This is being grafted in. And only God can do it. Well, a man can do it too, but it's a special way to do it. But it does not grow there naturally. That's the whole point. So wild olive tree is even worse because the fruit it produces olives, but guess what, bro? You can't eat it. You have like the regular olive tree, the regular one. You get wine, olive oil. You can't do that with the wild. You can't do that with the wild one. They said the taste is so tangy, like no human can consume it. So that's a good try, Cat. but this was a standard olive tree that produces wine and all the oils, whatever it produces naturally, that human use for consumption trades. That wild olive tree does not produce that.
I wonder what
So
other translations say.
on Jeremiah 11,
No, on the wild olive tree. Because I've read
all right,
that it's not even related.
Let's go.
Yeah. What's the craziest translation? Go to that good news or the God's word. That's probably.
If I was to Google right now, a wild olive tree versus. All right, so that's all right. Oh boy. Oh boy. Oh, because it could still circle around. When you ever get to when you stop listening, circle. All right. So let me find. Wow. Okay, there we go. Okay. There we go. All right. Okay. No, I'm on this one. I'm on this one. Okay. So we got into a cultivated olive tree. No, this one got wild by nature, wild olive tree. What is by nature a wild olive tree? Wow, yeah, this is wild. Wild. Okay, cool. Sisters, wild. Now watch this. It ain't gonna work with me. It ain't gonna work with me. Oh my God. Look at this. You see my screen? Okay, so difference between
I'm just
wild olive
joking.
trees
I'm just
and
joking.
cultivated.
No, I see the screen, bro.
Okay. Okay, so watch this. Wild olive trees are naturally occurring and found in remote or undisturbed areas, while cultivated olive trees are intentionally grown. So that means somebody is influencing these. Nobody's influencing these. These are wild dogs. These are domesticated dogs. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So now, size and robustness. Wild olive trees tend to be smaller and more robust. Bark and canopy. Wild olive trees have thicker bark and a more sprawling canopy. Fruit and leaves. Wild olive trees have smaller fruit and narrow leaves. You see, this is a whole different tree.
Yep.
And it's called, the fruit is like really a shrub. It's not even like, now watch this. The main difference between the wild olive tree and the cultivated olive tree is that bigger and juicier fruits of the latter. The latter is this one, my boy. That's ladder.
Right, the cultivated. Yep.
Ladder. And it seems that the whole domestication process required a great. See, I told you, one is domesticated and one is left alone. God is guiding Israel. Israel, that's considered domesticated. The heathens God don't deal with. They're considered wild.
Right.
I'm saying like this is an easy body bag. We try to conflate the two like the same tree.
Because then I feel like, which way would you go if they're like, well, the blinded Israelites, God isn't guiding them? How would you answer that?
No, but okay, watch this. At one point, did he guide him? At one point, did he guide him?
Yeah.
Okay, they're cultivated.
Right.
Wild means nobody influenced him.
And now you see, like, remember when we first started this and I was taking somebody to Romans 11 and verse 7. I was trying to establish that all of Israel is constituted of elect and blinded. So when we say like, oh, God isn't guiding these. Like, if you're gonna go down that way of like, God guiding them, they could be like, well, the Israelites that are not serving God, they're not guided. Then you could be like, well, yeah, those are the broken off branches, right? That's the whole point of, and that's why I think establishing the fact that there's 3 groups in Romans 11 is very important. Because if you don't even get that, then they're gonna keep mixing the wild olive tree with the broken off branches.
See, but it's okay to do that because it's okay because my position is action, right? That they with the bloodline crap. Mine is action. If you act like an Israelite and behave and conduct yourself as one, God see you as one. If you conduct yourself and act like a Gentile, God see you as that.
Right.
It's that simple. They are the ones who are stuck on bloodline, like no matter what, no matter. But then they confuse you because somehow God, in spite of their bloodline, calls them Gentiles. So the seed doesn't matter no more. Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think saying when you said that earlier, like you said it like maybe like 30 minutes ago, like, oh, now who your father is doesn't matter. That is really right. That's a really good argument. And I'm probably gonna use that.
All right, so let's see what Captain. Sakari tries to be, educated in this. Captain don't even give a damn. Captain,
he don't. That's why I like Captain, bro. Captain funny, bro.
Yeah, Captain used pure sources, like Acts chapter 8, the earlier chapter when he was pretending to be the apostles and stuff.
Yeah, yeah.
And they got called out. As a matter of fact, he converted him. That main guy. Remember that main guy was, I think Philip converted him over. Say, hey, man, you cut the shenanigans, man. Come and learn this stuff for real. And he got converted over. But he was faking it. The crowd was, ooh, ah, ooh. They thought my man was like God himself.
Fruit with the noise of a great tumult, he have kindled fire upon it, and the branches of it are broken. That's how the olive trees got broken off. The branches got broken off of that olive tree. For the Lord of hosts that planted the tree have pronounced evil against thee for an evil house. So
all right. So wait. So now watch this. Give me my favorite Bible. When you hate. Okay. So he's really mixing apples and oranges. Right. And he looks nervous. Okay. So okay.
Will Captain look nervous?
Yes.
Oh yeah.
He doesn't look comfortable.
Bro, because he knows if he I think God Logic is probably one of the bigger guys he's debated at this point.
Okay. This thing is
Who's the biggest guy that Captain's debated? Who would you say the biggest guy in the Christian community?
Who has he debated? Okay, so he debated vocab, he debated God Logic. He debated Pastor Bennett.
Pastor Bennett. How many subscribers he?
No, not a lot, but Pastor Bennett embarrassed him. And he also embarrassed Polite. Like he be kicking butt. He be kicking butt. Let me see.
Yeah, I think out of the Christians, I think God Logic got the most subscribers out of anybody.
Okay, so it might be him.
Yeah.
It might be him. Okay. So now let's get this. Okay. So now
it's windy. All right.
Now keep in mind, the Gentiles are the Gentiles because they're wicked. So Apostle Paul is speaking to the wicked Gentiles, who's still wicked, by the way, right? They're not the Gentiles, so they're not trying to be godly or follow commandments. So now,
hey, that's a good point. Hey, wait, hold on. Yo, you might have just said something right there, because if he's calling them Gentiles and they stand by faith, how are they then really Gentiles? Man, oh man, you might have just killed the whole debate, bruh. Nah, look. I'm not gonna pull that out because that might just make it short.
In Romans 11, right?
That's gonna
So
be
now,
the Matthew 1 if it's Matthew 1:16.
so yeah, because he's trying to guide these wicked people who don't want to be guided. Like, nah, we're good. We're Gentiles.
Mm-hmm.
We ain't paying nothing. Okay, so he says, if by any means I may provoke to emulation them which are my flesh. Okay, so now these Gentiles, okay, these aren't his flesh. Because he said them. So he's speaking. Look, I speak to Gentiles, but I'm talking about them that are my flesh.
Right.
Not everybody, not us, them. That I
Right.
might say, look, that I might say some of them.
Mm-hmm.
Wait a minute. But I thought that them were the Gentiles and they was going to come back in. These are two separate groups here.
Mm-hmm.
Watch this. For if the casting away of them be the reconciling the world, what shall the receiving of them be but life from the dead? For if the first fruit be holy, the lump is holy. And if the root be holy, so are the branches. And if some of the branches are broken off, but I thought that was them though. So he's speaking to the broken branches as though they're not the broken branches. Okay,
Right.
so and if some of the broken branches broken off, and you being a wild olive tree. So the wild olive tree is separate from the branch that's broken off.
Right. Because when you see broken off, that verb is in the third person.
Okay, and guess what? And in like third grade English, this is broken off, and you being a wild tree, you're not broken off. You were never a natural branch. You're a wild olive tree. You're a different
Yeah,
audience.
if you want to show that, if you want to show it a little more clear in the English, I think maybe the next verse gives a little bit of clarity on that, where it actually has that they were broken off that I might be grafted in. That would actually cut that. Yeah. Yep.
When you go to NLT, I think their favorite translation kills it. Okay, so now, so we got them, and if some of the branches were broken off, not you, because you're the wild olive tree, and you were grafted in among them. Who's the them? The them are the broken branches. They are not, the broken branches are not Gentiles. So now watch this. Watch this. The Gentiles is listening and hearing to what happened to the broken branches that were natural. Okay? They're learning, like, wow, God cut off his own, right? And we're the wild olive tree. We're not the natural branch. We're not the natural olive tree. We're the domesticated, cultivated. We're the wild olive tree. Okay, so if he cuts off his own for disobeying God, right? What would he do to us if we get grafted in? We disobey God. Like, we definitely ain't stand a chance. And that was the whole point. Okay, then he said this. And I even skipped. I should have read it a little earlier, but let's keep going. Where was I? Okay. That might say some of them. For if the casting away of the so now, so as I'm seeing these words, this is where you do the draw, the tree and the them, okay, the Gentile. The Gentile would be like so I'm gonna do like a black silhouette of a crowd. I'm gonna show a tree with a branch broken, and then I'm gonna show a tree with. So I'm gonna have the them being broken off. The natural branch is still there. And
so I think I might make a little coloring picture book for them for Romans 11.
Yeah. You get visuals. It's like, okay, so he's talking to the Gentiles about the them. Okay, this is undisputed, right? Undisputable. Like you can argue it, but you're gonna look dumb. And I don't mind you arguing. I'm not even trying to convince you. I know it's saying this, you know it's saying this, so let's just keep going. Okay. So, and if some of the branches be broken off, and you being a wild olive tree, so you are not the them. Okay, we're grafted in among them. See, you are grafted among them. And with and with them, Z, and with them. So you with them partakers of, I'm telling you, that's what I can tell you. I can just win at Romans 11. I don't need to go nowhere else. I would do that for fun. I go to Matthew 5, 15, 24, just to have fun with these guys. This verse, that verse, it's just fun. But it's really over. This Romans 11 is the Matthew 1:16.
Yeah. I got about 10 more minutes, and I'm gonna hop off because I'm about to get my hair cut.
All right. So let's go real quick now. Okay. So, all right. Both not against the branches, right? Branches. Is that plural or singular? Okay.
Plural.
But if thou boast, thou bearest not the root, but the root thee. Thou will say then, the branches were broken off that I might be grafted in. See, okay, so now that just killed the broken off or the grafted in. So yeah, so when he did that, I knew he was done. All right, so now, like I said, I no Greek, no Latin, no Spanish, just plain English. That's why I say if the Trinity is true, if it's actually true, then there has to.
Oh, that's cool. I didn't know that.
I don't know Latin.
Oh, I thought you. Oh, okay. Go ahead. Just keep going.
No, I just saying like we don't need to go Spanish, Latin, Greek,
Yeah.
English. So I'm saying same thing with Trinity. If the Trinity is true, somebody had to be clever enough just to explain
to do it from the English.
English, right? It's because the translators, I believe, my position is the translators tried their best to make it closer to the Greek in an honest, sincere effort. They didn't do trickery and deceptive tactics.
Yeah.
They tried their best to make it almost word for word.
I think I'm gonna do my best to stick to the English until they go to the Greek, kind of how we did with the virgin birth.
Yeah. So I think I'm gonna split my time because I want to do Sam Shimon. I like his debate better than other ones I watched. So
yeah,
I'm gonna go back and watch his again, and I'm gonna master his arguments. And even when we go to the Greek, I'm gonna master all that shit. And then I want to debate it, right? Debate it.
Yeah.
And then see how well it holds up. Like for myself. And see if it just makes sense when they ask me questions, in English. I'm not no Greek. Unless they go Greek, then you have no choice. You gotta fight fire with fire. So if they go Greek, you gotta go Greek. Okay, so but if they stay in English, I'm in English. It should be a way you could argue it in English because again, our authors tried their best to make it what it is. So it should hold up. Same thing with oneness and Unitarianism. English should be good enough if you believe your position is the truth. All right. So we're done here. So let me do a couple more. Okay. Hey, it's just a body bag from here on. We can start from verse 1 and we read the whole chapter, man. So after you get the questions out from the guy, he just answered, okay, cool. Let's just start from verse 1, read on now, brother. And let's just go real slow.
When you go back to Romans, the 11th chapter, that wild olive tree is them being allowed to be grafted back in.
Okay. So
now
see, that's that tricknology right there.
Yeah, but look from my vantage point how retarded that is. There's no them. It's you and them.
Right. And that's why I don't think God Logic caught it. So he kind of just goes along with it. He didn't catch that he was referring to that verse 23.
Well, he doesn't believe that this guy could lie right in his face. Like most people are not used to just dealing with just bold-faced liars.
Yeah.
Like most people just not. And like people just can't fathom that somebody can just do that, put their whole reputation on the line. Like people just be like, he wouldn't do that. Like, and I'm sure God Logic, like, yeah, that don't make sense, but I don't think he'll lie though. So maybe it is true, and I just gotta figure shit out. I think that's how he's thinking. Like he's not considering this dude is flat his line in the face. Like just to so-called win.
Just reading this here. So it says, but if some of the branches were broken off, And you, although a wild olive shoot, were grafted in among the others, and now share in the nourishing root of the olive tree. Do not be arrogant toward the branches. If you are, remember, it is not you who support the root, but the roots that supports you. Then you will say, branches were broken off so that I might.
See, I think he's reading too much, and because he's trying to find it. So you think if I keep reading, I'll find it.
Be grafted in. That is true. They were broken off because of their unbelief. But you stand fast through faith. So do not become proud, but fear.
If I'm debating, because Captain knows his talking points. So when he start reading the whole thing, Captain knows, okay, yeah, I got him. Because he don't know my talking points. Because he would have been stopped and addressed some stuff I said already.
Right.
In fact, he reading the whole thing, he's trying to find where
to start.
Yeah, to address the Captain.
For if God did not spare the natural branches, neither will he spare you. So these are not natural branches. They were never part of the tree in the first place, but now they're being grafted in. They're not natural to the tree.
That's not true. And context and listening is an art. And he never answered verse 16. It says, for if the first fruit be holy, the lump is also holy. And if the root be holy, so are the branches. Those other branches are never attached to the root. When the branches get broken off, that's why in the metaphor, it talks about them being grafted back into a wild olive tree. Jeremiah 11:16 that I
wild olive tree.
That's my pause. That's my pause.
What? I told you Cap was drinking, bro.
Yeah, oh my God. That's my pause. I was like, wow, this guy, he's wild.
That's that tricknology right there.
Spoke about.
Yeah. Yes. So he threw him off right there, like big time.
That he did not answer also speaks about the Lord bringing a fire to that same olive tree.
That same olive tree. so the Lord said olive tree is always the same one. Like, dude, stop it. He gave an analogy. The whole olive tree was wicked. This is totally different. The wild olive tree is great. A branch is great. It only got 2 branches, by the way. The other one had a bunch of branches. This one only got 2. One is good, one is bad. It's kind of like Adam and Eve. I'm not Adam and Eve. It's like Cain and Abel. You know, that whole Jacob Esau. It's like one is good, one is bad. Choose. God or the devil, right?
What God Logic should have done? Because notice Captain, when God Logic read, for take heed for God spare not the natural branches, take heed lest he also spare not thee. He should have had Captain go to prove that the wild olive tree is called natural branches.
Right.
Yeah, because he just said, no, that's not the case. And then went on, I'm a freaking cat, bro. Is it windy on my side? Can you hear all this wind?
Where does it say that they're being grafted back in? The wild.
So then you...
Where does it say that they're being grafted back in? The wild.
That would say then, I'm sorry. If some of the branches, in verse 17, if some of the branches are broken off, and thou being a wild olive tree, the tree is talking about the first fruit be holy, and the lump that is also.
I think Captain's almost acting like the olive tree guys are Israelites. I don't know. I'll play it. I don't know if God Logic knows he's talking to Gentiles.
I think Cap is. I'm not gonna lie. I think Cap is stupid with these arguments.
Bro, why you think it's so easy in the virgin birth thing? It's like even he argued the theory, right, where Joseph he had a brother. Where that bullcrap theory he had?
The levirate marriage.
Oh my God! No. He argued something worse than that. He argued. This person died. That person died. This person died. And this guy got adopted. Like, he did something worse than anybody. And like, that was the doctrine that the early church fathers started. And obviously nobody followed that. Because
I don't think it was that. I think they all said it was, he was reading from Africanus. And he said that a lot of these were levirate marriages. So-and-so died. And
bro, it was if you follow, when I followed that, it was like most. It was like watching what's the movie where they escaped death and then they finally caught them one by one.
Final Destination.
Bro, that was Africanus. Whoever wrote that crap was like the first editor, movie producer for Final Destination. All those weird coincidences. This person was living, and he died. I mean, are you serious? It was about like 9 deaths. It was about 9 deaths. To go to that stretch to show that that Joseph.
Those things are better left unsaid. Like if you think this might happen, it's better left unsaid if it's not even an inkling in the scripture. Something like that could take place.
One scenario is like, wow, that's wild. He gave like 9 of them. It's like, dude, if you got to go to that stretch to prove that Jesus, like, what was he? And then like the whole thing wasn't even about Jesus; it was about Joseph. So it was like way off.
It would be like saying, like, why didn't Adam write the book of Genesis? We see what happened was Adam had the book, he started writing, and then he died, and then Eve started writing, and then he died. Yeah.
And Seth, and then he died, and then he left it to Moses. Yeah, I'm saying like that's kind of where it went. It was like a really poor attempt. It's like it's about a reach. It was like a horrible reach to just show that. And what was it supposed to show? It was supposed to show that I forgot the conclusion. Like what was the conclusion for that? Like what was the importance of going all these conspiracy theories? Like what was the importance? What was the bottom line? Do you remember?
To show that the early church.
No, I got it now. It was to show that Matthew's 1 is Jesus' genealogy through his dad.
Oh, yeah, I think it's to show that both lineages are Joseph's, and since we don't have Mary's lineage, we don't know what tribe she's from, and if Jesus only comes from Mary, he can't be from Judah because it doesn't say she's from Judah. Basically, he was going that way and not proving if Joseph is the biological father. Jesus.
Hey, bro, it was the wildest explanation from like an early father I've probably ever heard. Like that's worse than the Ebionites. Like this was just wild.
Nah, they get more crazy. They get more crazy for sure.
So all these folks just dropping dead. They got Ebola, COVID-19. Like what the hell's going on here? They just dropping dead. As hell, and they just dead. All right, play a little more.
So holy and the root, that's the tree. Yeah. And so then it says, and thou being a wild olive tree were grafted in among them, and with them partakers of the root.
He should have said, who is the wild olive tree? He said, thou. Who is the thou? He'd have been dead. He'd have been dead. It'd have been over, bro.
And fatness of the olive tree. Yeah. Boast not against the branches, but if thou boast, thou bearest not the root. What this is talking about is Judah and Israel, or if you want to say northern kingdom and southern kingdom, some people say that. Because when Christ was on the scene, Christ said, I'm not sent, but...
See, now, he's afraid he already lost, so like he won't probably ever debate in public again. That's why I need like ULJ get him. But and plus, like we had enough like back and forth that he knows like when I call him out, it's going to be like some real like a real like,
smoke,
yeah. Like he take me serious. He take me if I'm challenging him, he takes me serious. Okay, so I was gonna say, try to get my memory back.
I got a good question
to the lost sheep of the house of Israel. When Christ was on the scene,
say again.
I said I got a good question for Cap regarding Romans 11, 13, and 14. I just want to get him real quick, sneak it in there, and then dip.
Yeah, you can hang up. Like, I just got this one question that you want to answer. That's all. Shalom. And you hang up where it don't seem like you're debating him. I got a question, man. Just come down. Maybe you can answer. All right, shalom.
Yeah, but hey, I got to head out, man. I'm headed to this appointment, man. You hopping on tomorrow?
All day because it's the weekend, and then like even like the Christmas weekend, all day, every chance I get, I'm doing different lives. Some Bible stuff, some some Trinity stuff, some police dash cam. I'm gonna be live.
Yeah, let's try to get some people on. I could probably get one dude on. He might be scared to get on. I don't know. But I know he at least wants to talk to me, but I don't know if he wants to go live. So
Well, then give him the phone number. He'll be live without knowing he's live.
yeah. Okay. That's cool. All right, bro.
All right.
Shalom, man. We'll link up later. Shalom.
All right, so let me back up the captain. These shenanigans, man. Captain and his shenanigans.
It's not the root. What this is talking about is Judah and Israel. Or
Now, I wish he would say that to me.
want to say Northern Kingdom and Southern Kingdom.
See, you got to understand, like that. Those are the answers I want them to say. Okay, I want them to say Southern, Northern, and I want them to say that this is Southern, this branch is Southern, this branch is Northern. That makes it easier. When they say it's a mix between them, it's still easy, but it's not as it's not as easy, but it's still easy. Okay. But when they go this route, assigning nations, Israelite nations, things like branches, they make it easier for me now. So okay, good. Because most of my argument is, all right, let me share my screen because nobody's gonna know until I show the example. All right, look, I'm gonna show the example what I mean because it's kind of hard to explain. So I'm just gonna show you. Here we go. So now remind you, I'm on captain. Like, yeah, it's amazing. It looked like the salvation or Gentile grafted in debate. It will be easier to be captain than the virgin. Okay, so let me tell you what I mean. Okay, so when I'm white, okay, this is my first move, right? Now you can do whatever you want. You can bring the knight here, you can bring it there, you could bring this knight here, this knight there as your first move. You can move this pawn here, 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 or you can move this pawn here. You can move twice in the first go. This here, this here, this. These are your options as your first move. From my response to my pawn on e4. Okay, this is my first move because you got all those options, right? I would rather you do this. Okay, so when captain is arguing his position, right?
talking about is Judah and Israel, or if you want to say Northern Kingdom and Southern Kingdom, some people.
Okay, so when he said Northern Kingdom and Southern Kingdom, when he's debating me or anybody debating me and they believe they take his side, saying Northern and Southern Israel is you playing this move right here. Okay, now he had other moves he could have done, but to say Northern and Southern, that's playing this move. I want this move because my next move is here. It's to challenge that pawn. Okay, now if you did this, check this out. If you did this, I really can't do that because I'm not attacking your pawn. It's just this move don't make sense for me. You dig? So now you kind of like disrupted my plans. So now I gotta do something like this. Like I gotta go here now. You dig? Or I might do this. Do something more. But you pretty much killed this plan right. But by doing this, you pretty much killed this plan right here. Okay. So I want you to go here. And captain argument, captain did that. So now I get to do my move. That. And guess what? It's the king's, look right here. It's the king's gambit. This is my opening that I learned for like 10 years. I teach my students this, the king's gambit. But watch this. You see it says king's gambit? If the captain does this, if captain does this, you see, it says no Nimzowitsch defense. It does not say king's gambit. So when you're playing me in chess, you don't want it to say king's gambit. If he does this, it's his French defense. See, French. If he does this, it's Sicilian defense. See? This is Caracan. Oh, I'm sorry, Perk Defense. Okay. This is the Alicon Defense. Okay, so there, and you got the Owens Defense. Modern, the Owens over here. See? Okay, so I don't want to play against those. You got Scandinavian right here. I want this move so I can do this to make it the King's Gambit. Okay, so when Captain had that argument with the Northern and Southern, that's equivalent to playing the King's Gambit.
About is Judah and Israel, or if you want to say Northern Kingdom and Southern Kingdom, some people say that, because when Christ was on the scene, Christ said, I'm not sent but into the lost sheep of the house of Israel. The tribes of Israel as a nation.
Okay, so now where he's going right now, like he's on my playbook, so he might as well did this, so I can do that. He take that, I go here and check. He go here, I go check. He goes here, and I bam, I take your bishop, I take your rook. Okay, and right now I'm up big. I'm up 4 points. That fast. So that's what Captain's doing right now. This guy even touched on.
Talking about is Judah and Israel, or if you want to say Northern Kingdom and Southern Kingdom, some people say that, because when Christ was on the scene, Christ said, I'm not sent but into the lost sheep of the house of Israel. The tribes of Israel as a nation was not there. They were cut off. Another excellent example is the prodigal son. When the prodigal son, you had the two sons. The two, you always notice it's always in two.
Now, right now, at this point, he just ranting and grabbing. He's ranting, ravaging, and he's going rabid, and he's just preaching at this point. Look at his face. Like, yo, where are you going?
Because you had Northern Kingdom and Southern Kingdom. So the Northern Kingdom gets kicked out. He's wallowing himself in the swine. And when he comes back to the house and is accepted of the Father, who's angry about that? The son that stayed.
This has nothing to do with this subject. They were talking about crafted in Romans 11. He's talking about the prodigal son. Dude, what are we doing? And like, this is just bad. This is just bad etiquette in debating that.
And so Judah didn't want didn't want his brother to come back. Isaiah 11 and 13 is another example when it says that
I'll skip this.
Envy of what I asked earlier when it says, and so all Israel shall be saved, as it is written. The subject is about Israel not being cast away, according to the first verse. Verse 13, when it says, 14 rather, when it says, I provoke to emulation them which are my flesh. That's found in Romans 9 and 4. Them are my flesh who are Israelites, to whom pertain the adoption, the glory.
So believe me, just take my word. He's all over the place. He's this is what I try not to let him do. He's all so after he get done, for me, I'll bring him right back to left off that. That was on topic. I said, okay, bro, remember you said the Northern and Southern Kingdom? So all this shit, all this little sorcery, all this little showboating, right? Being a showman. When he's done, I act like he never said it. I'll bring him right back to where he left off at. I said, okay, so remember you said about the Northern Israel? I would just bring it right back there. I won't address nothing he said. Smoke screen.
The covenants, the services, and the promises.
Right.
So if this, okay,
I got you. So when you said I didn't answer about 16, I feel like I did because when you said that they're being grafted back in, but in this context, it doesn't say that. They were never part of the natural tree to begin with. So that's what I'm saying here when it says, but if some of the branches were broken off and you, although a wild olive shoot, were grafted in, these people were not broken off of this tree in the first place. They're being grafted into the tree and now taking part in the nourishment. So
he's correct, Richard.
You have the natural branches that were cut off before, and now there's room for the unnatural branches to be grafted in. Like when you bring up you said,
that's true.
Said Judah and who else was it?
Ephraim.
Ephraim.
Israel. I think I said Israel.
Israel. So Judah and Israel. Is Judah and Israel both part of the natural tree?
Until he burned it in Jeremiah 11 chapter, which I just
That's a whole different analogy, captains. Like I said, like the captain is either slow or don't, or either slow or deceptive. Like there's no way, there's no other way.
read, he separated, he kicked out the whole northern kingdom. He kicked out 9 tribes.
Yeah.
So, so we got the Northern Kingdom kicked out. I mean, and like he's really a revisionist in biblical history. It's like, dude, what are you talking about? Everybody was kicked out, North and South. Like, stop playing with me, man. Stop playing with me. But, you know, we'll see if you ever sit down with me. But it gotta be, look, I was on his channel 2-3 times. We were on Sinai's channel 1 time. No, twice. We did a weigh-in, then we did a debate. He has never came to my channel. So it has to be my channel or a neutral channel. Okay. I'm not going back over it. No. I kicked his butt.
So wait, so I have a question.
Yeah.
What did those 9 tribes become?
They became the other kingdom.
No. When they got kicked out, what did they become?
What context are you talking about?
So in 2 Kings, the 17th chapter, when he kicked out the northern kingdom, and so they kicked out as a nation. So,
okay, so now he goes to where we at?
So in 2 Kings, the 17th chapter, when he
Okay, so we're at 2 Kings, the 17th chapter. Watch this. And by the way, I never watched this much of it. Okay, so I'm 100% winging it at 12 a.m. Okay, I almost at New Jersey.
kicked out the northern kingdom, and so they kicked out as a nation. So Ephraim, Manasseh, Issachar, Gad, Naphtali, etc. What did they become when they got kicked out of Israel?
I don't know.
That's the Gentiles that it's talking about.
Where does it mention that they're the Gentiles?
Etc. What did they become when they got kicked out of Ephraim, Manasseh, Issachar, Gad, Naphtali, etc.? What did they become when they got kicked out of Israel?
Oh yeah, okay. He's wilding. And what did they become? They became kicked out. They're still yo, that connection he made is wild. Now I gotta admit, it's unique. I ain't hear nobody say that. Okay, so I gotta admit, I ain't hear nobody say that. Okay, well, what they become, bro? What do you mean they became wicked? Oh, you mean their nationality changed? Nah, they're still Israel. They just wicked, but they're wicked. But to say they became Gentiles as well.
No.
I don't know.
That's the Gentiles that it's talking about.
Where does it mention that they're the Gentiles? Where does it say they're the Gentiles?
Okay, so let me give you a prophecy.
No, look. So now I need your prophecy. How about give me Bible, man? Can you just source up? Can you just prove that? But anyway, go ahead.
Say they're the Gentiles.
That's the word Gentile means nation. We agree, right?
Yeah, but you're saying that no. So I'm saying that the Gentiles biblically are not Israelites.
No, that's what you're saying.
Yeah, that's the
Even
Bible.
in the Zondervan Bible Dictionary, to say Gentiles are usually non-Israelites.
Yeah. So my question is, where does it call them? Where does it identify?
Bro, what does that mean? Usually not. Come on, man. If I say the Watcher, why ask me for a ride? Bro, I usually say no. Like that's almost good as no. Usually is day to day. Yo, I usually go to work from 8 to 5. That means on a rare exception, I don't. On a rare exception, I go to work later than 8 earlier, or I end work later than 5 or earlier than 5. So when somebody say usually, that's a day-to-day regular occurrence. So if it's usually a Gentile, that means normally it's a Gentile except a rare occurrence. You got to prove that rare occurrence. You just can't say it.
as the Gentiles.
This context, if you listen to my opening statement, Gentile just means nation.
So where are they called the Gentiles?
So I'm gonna break it. So I'll give you an example. This is Genesis 48. Since you want to know exactly where.
That's a different one. So
no, it's right on the subject.
Okay.
It's right on the subject because this is prophecy.
All right. So I want to end at 12 to 12:18. I mean, 2 minutes past. So there's a lot to go here. We got 37 minutes, 15 seconds left. Am I bugging? Am I saying the same word over? So we got 37 minutes and 15 seconds. But yeah, you know I'm sleepy. Okay. So I keep it here. But that chest down there is smooth, right? All right, man. All right, so yeah, let me leave it there. Let me not force it. I'm sleepy. All right, so man, thank you. We out here.